years, and it has been a very enriching journey. Yeah, and today we are celebrating 15 years of Finish, and I feel really privileged to talk about our experiences, our work for the society. Now, Finish stands for an. Okay, wait. I can you see my slide is moving? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah. So Finish is an acronym which stands for Financial Inclusion, Improve Sanitation and Health. It was conceptualized in the year 2008-9 when Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Government of Netherlands, they decided to build 5 lakh toilets, which is 500,000 toilets in India. So we formed a consortium of Indian and Dutch organizations such as Tata AIG. Okay, I hear echo. Yeah, such as Tata AIG, UN, so Waste, which is an international NGO, and it is also one of our very closest and strongest partner, if technological partner, technical partner. And we also have UN and UNU Merit, which is again an academic partner from based out of Netherlands, and some of the Indian NGOs. They together formed an Indo-Dutch consortium to continue the implementation of Finish in India. And to also to implement Finish in India, what we did later after an year or so is that Finish got registered. Finish got registered as a society, as a not-for-profit entity in 2010. Now, society, was formed not just for implementing this Government of Netherlands funded Finish project, but it definitely had bigger dreams. The team headed by Mr. Abhijit Banerjee, who is our current director CEO, had vision to make this society a self-sustainable organization, even when Government of Netherlands funding was, even when the funding ended. So his team, comprising of Mr. Saurabh Agnihotri, who is the current COO, Mr. Abhishek Chaudhuri, who is heading the Finnish Mondial operations in India, and also he's also heading the FSMC, which is a sister organization of Finnish. Ms. Santwana Sneha, who was earlier the research and knowledge management head, and also heading monitoring and evaluation wing. Mr. Gaurav Kumar, who is finance head, along with all our regional managers, project managers, head office team, field team, they together worked together to diversify Finish into wash related field, water and sanitation related fields like waste management, skill and livelihood development, research and analysis, training and capacity building, renewable energy, etc. So today we are implementing, more than 20 or around 20 CSR projects, and most of them are repeat projects from the year 2015-16. We are also working with ULBs, which is municipalities and funding agencies across 14 states of India. Now, yeah, yeah. So Finish, as we speak today, Finish started as a small project in India, but today it has become a program by expanding in 5 more countries, namely Kenya, Bangladesh, Uganda, Tanzania, and Ethiopia. This happened because of the success that we saw in India. So the Indian model of Finish is very interesting, and I would just like to take few minutes in explaining that. So what we did in India was we created bulk demand in communities for toilets. We also at the same time worked with microfinance institutions to develop sanitation, water and sanitation loans. They call it Watson loans, which they started giving to their beneficiaries. At the same time, we trained masons. So we identified masons in nearby villages, and we provided trainings to them on how to on how to build technologically correct toilets. At the same time, we also worked with sanitation businesses, these hardware shop owners. So bulk orders of the system started getting generated, and it became kind of a win-win situation both for the communities as well as for the sanitation business owners, because at one transportation cost, bulk amount of systems units were transported from a shop to the to the rural remote areas in the villages. So by doing this, we not only leveraged the government of Netherlands funding 20 times by involving microfinance institutions, funding for these toilets. At the same time, we also lowered the cost of the toilets per toilet. So we kind of leveraged the funding, the grant funding, more than 20 times. So that kind of success, when government of Netherlands saw this success, they wanted to expand Finnish Indian model into the other 5 countries. So coming back to Finnish Society, which is an NGO in India, registered in India, we are spread across 14 states. Our head office is in Lucknow, and we have 3 regional offices: Udaipur, Mumbai, and Ranchi. And currently, as I said, we are implementing more than 20-25 projects with CSR partners, with ULBs, which is municipalities, and also with funding agencies. Now, so what we do is as we said, we not only facilitate in constructing individual household toilets, but we also expanded in providing toilet blocks in schools, separate for both boys and girls, and several, not only just toilets, also creating a ecosystem of, hand washing and personal hygiene, MHM in schools and also in communities. We also, expanded in or diversified our operations in waste management. In waste management, we are doing different aspects like municipal solid waste management, working with ULBs, liquid waste management, where we are doing drain treatment, lake treatment, grey water treatment, and we provide technical support for developing STPs, which is sewage treatment plants. Another interesting thing that we are doing in waste management is fecal sludge management, where fecal sludge management, an interesting thing what we are doing here is we are collecting household organic waste or animal waste, and then mixing it with the human waste which is coming coming into the STPs. And we are mixing them and treating it into a very I would say nutritive co-compost, which is supposed to enhance soil fertility. And this has been put to test in several in agriculture universities and also in laboratories for testing and approval. And we have also piloted it in some of the regions of India, and it has given good results for crop production. Now, the next field where we are working is renewable energy, where we are helping install solar panels in schools, in communities, and also in public health centers, where 24/7 electricity is still like a luxury. And so solar panels is definitely a very good substitute. It's a wonderful way of enabling families live safely, and even children there, we have seen that they can study at night. So those are some of the wonderful things that Finnish is doing by expanding into this field. The other very interesting field for us, which we have expanded sector, is skill and livelihood development, where we are doing 3 different kind of initiatives. We are first is we are providing skill development to rural youth which are deprived of these these facilities. So we identify these youth, we give them vocational trainings, and we also collaborate with industries for their placements. Second is women empowerment. Under women empowerment, we again identify, or we form and strengthen self-help groups of women and train them based on their interest. So some might be doing stitching, tailoring, or some might be doing some small, business of, say, pickle making, papad making. So we provide them skillful training on business development, on financial planning, how to apply for loans, etc., and also quality improvement of their products. So these kind of trainings we give to those women SHGs group. The third initiative under our skill and livelihood development is entrepreneurship development program, wherein we work with youth entrepreneurs and also small and medium, MSMEs, we could say small and medium enterprises who need support in business management, employment planning, financial planning, and marketing and sales. So these are the different kind of trainings that we do under skill wing. And the last one is our knowledge management and research, where we take up projects where we take up projects for conducting research and surveys in rural parts of the country on different topics. Can you please, if you're not speaking, put yourself on mute, please. Mehnaz and Nadeem ji, please. So yeah, so we take up research projects for conducting surveys in rural parts of the country on different topics. We have very well trained team which use contemporary tools and methods for research and analysis. So that is for all. Thank you very much. If you have any further questions, you can write to us. Most of you would be also in touch with our colleagues. So we'll be very happy to answer. And I'm really sorry because I don't have a lot of time to speak on this. And thank you very much. And I hope you have a wonderful time listening to our distinguished speakers today. Thank you. I will stop sharing now. Hello. Chandra sir, hello. Anil. Shall we then move to our next speaker? I thought, Chandra sir, you wanted to talk something?
Yes, actually, sir.
Yes, Anil.
Yes, hi Joey. Thank you so much for a wonderful opening introduction to the whole session. Now,
Yes.
as far as we can introduce, is not coming. Hello, can you hear me? Problem net.
Yes, we can hear you, sir, very clearly.
Hear
You're audible, sir.
Yeah. Chandra sir, please carry on. I think there is some internet problem there.
So,
Okay.
जूही जी आप शुरू कर
Yeah.
सकते हैं आगे नेक्स्ट स्पीकर के साथ में.
Okay. So I will just, shortly speak about today's roundtable. So here today, the topic definitely is bridging gaps for a water-ready future. And the focus today will be on strategies to safeguard grey water, methods to prevent water contamination from fecal matter, then innovative solutions and technologies for water conservation, case studies and success stories in water management. And as well as we have a speaker from Uganda, our friend, Mr. Stephen Birungi, and he'll be talking about about sanitation technology hackathon, which every year Finish, conducts for everyone globally. We do this, it's a global event. So he will talk more about it. Thank you very much. And I think I will first, so our first speaker today is Mr. Rajesh Gupta. He's professor cum superintending engineer, WALMI, Water Resources Department, Government of Bihar, based out of Patna in Bihar. He has extensive experience in flood control, irrigation projects, and infrastructural development across multiple roles. He has played a significant role in flood management and anti-erosion schemes in Bihar. He is specialized in training pertaining to GIS, river basin planning, and watershed management. It is so wonderful to have you, sir. Thank you very much for coming to our virtual roundtable. And please, yes, the floor is yours. Please, you can. Do you want us to display your PPT?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. I already sent the PPT.
Yeah,
I will
I
display
think-
or you will display?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think Anshuman, are you going to display it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I will start that. At the meantime, the PPT will be displayed. Myself, Juhi Khushbu, ma'am already told about myself. Myself, Rajesh Gupta. I have 35-year experience in irrigation department and after 17 years in WALMI, Patna. Here is the mainly in teaching as well as research in water management. Today's my topic which I have taken is watershed management. Watershed management, just I will show it. Topic will be shown, then we will begin.
Okay, I can also display it, sir. Wait, I will try to display it for you.
Myself will display or it will be problem with?
No, there is no problem. I'll just display it. Wait.
Okay.
Okay, let me just download it. Yes. Okay, I think I can display it. Yeah. Yes, sir. You can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So watershed management. The topic is very important for water management because first we understand what is the watershed. So watershed means the place where the water is dropped. We have to manage on that places. We doesn't want to move for different places. That is watershed management. You have heard the name of Anna Hazare, I think. Already heard the name Anna Hazare. He is also work on water management. What he has done, the place where he is parental place, when he after retirement, he has gone there and see that all the vegetations are not there because there is a barren land, and when the water fall, they will go out to the river below this. So there they start water management. State water management, we are going to here. So first, next slide, please.
Next slide वही चला रही हैं.
Next, first we have to take the introduction, then principle of water management, objective one by one take. Next slide. Next slide. Water is essential to our existence. You everybody know that we can live without food for a week, but we cannot survive water. Water is essential just after the air. First is air and then water is there. What is the actually watershed? Watershed is a geological unit or a piece of land that drain at a common point. It is defined as any special area from which rain or irrigation water is collected and drained through a common point. Just I conclude you clearly. When the water is fall on any land, then the water is to be distributed on the land, and then it flow at a common point. So the common point, the area which is divided, which is be in one ridge divided, that is the watershed. So we have to, whenever we have to plan any irrigation project or any project for water conservation, we have to study what are the watershed is there. So for watershed, you have to plan that the water should not go outside this area. So it is a geographical region with hydrological condition are such that the water become concentrated with a particular location or a river or reservoir by which watershed is drained. The watershed is important source of drinking water. All the water, main our watershed management is that whatever the pani will be dropped on the land, it should not go outside that watershed. It should be used within the watershed. That is the main thing for watershed management. Next, please. Watershed management is the form of mean to capture the sun of the action taken to preserve and maintain the watershed. Then how to manage that watershed? You have to give some engineering measures so that whenever the water drops, it should be within the watershed. It will not go outside that watershed. You have heard that in Rajasthan, there is a roof water harvesting is there. In roof, the water will be collected in rainy season, and in house there is a well, and all the water they have collected to be deposited in the well, and whole year they will be used. Now it become common also. You see everywhere in government policy is there. All the government offices and even the private offices has to be collect their water on the roof and should be either collect it, either it will be in well you have to create it, or you have to enrich the water table nearby. The watershed is the area. The watershed is the land area draining at a common stream. Under it is a process of guiding coordinated land use and water management. The management of water include all measurements that can be made to protect, manage, conserve, and related water sources. Anything we have to do, we have to manage it in our proper thing. Next, utilization of land based on its capability. All land has different capability. Suppose sandy land is there, clayey land is there. So they have, according to your capability, you have to utilize it. Protecting fertile top layer, that is very important for watershed management, because when the water will fall on the land, it will take, when it moves over the sheet of flow of the water, it will take the fertility from top of the layer. That's why that land becomes non-fertile. To protect them, we have to conserve the water. Minimizing setting up tanks, reservoir and lower fertile land. We have to provide some tanks. We have to provide some reservoir. Protecting vegetative cover throughout the year. Whenever any land there is no vegetative cover, then water will not stop there. So as we increase the vegetative cover, the water will be conserved there. In situ conservation of rainwater, it is same like that. And safe diversion of gullies and construction of check dam for increasing groundwater recharges. Suppose in hilly area is there, or where is the slope is very high, you have to provide gully plugging, or you have to provide a small check dam so that water will store some time, so that the water level will increase on that area. Water harvesting for supplemental irrigations. So at the time of rainy season, we have to get the water from the rain. But next time, when their water is stored, you will be used on another time. Next. The watershed aim ultimately to improve the standard of living of the common people in the basin by increasing their earning capacity. Just I am again showing the Anna Hazare thing. People before watershed management, they are no livelihood is there on that places. But after that, when they store the water, greenery will come and the livelihood is started. For that, Government of India given Padma Shri Award. So everywhere where the water is stored, greenery will come up, then new avenues are generated. So first we recognize the watershed, adequate water supply for domestic agriculture industrial needs, abatement of organic and inorganic soil pollution to protect and enhance the water source originated in the watershed, to increase the infiltration of the rainwater. Main purpose is to increase the infiltration of the rainwater. Whatever the rainwater is on the ground, it should be infiltrated on the ground. Next. Before remote sensing, it is difficult to delineate the watershed, because watershed is a very big entity. So when the remote sensing is coming, so with the help of satellite, we can delineate the watershed, which is the watershed is there. In big watersheds, some small watersheds are there, and from their remote sensing, with the help of we can know where is the vegetation, where is the ridge boundary, and from where the water will be stored. So all these things we can get with the help of. And now the remote sensing with the help of GIS, Geographical Information System, all the data of the ground can be fed, and what is the relation between one another can be easily understand. So with the remote sensing and GIS, it is very easy for us to know what the present position of the watershed. This is the one of the figure you see. This is the remote sensing. The black one is the water which is available at that place. So easily with the help of remote sensing we can get this thing. Next. This is the GIS package, ArcGIS. There is a figure of this. Next. You see, this is the grassland development. First thing, we have to develop the grassland. As we increase the grassland, the water infiltration capacity will increase tremendously. So first we have to increase the grassland, either manually, we have to increase the grassland. Next. This is CO, this is the gully plugging. Previously, there is no restriction on this. Water is flowing through this, and this gully is eroded gradually day by day. We have to plug this. So the water is stored in these places, and there is a greenery, both sides is there, and the water level will rise. Next. You have to implant plantation. When there is a water is there, you have to implant this. This is contour bunding. Contour bunding. Contour bunding is this. Suppose in a hilly area, when the water is flow, then when there is no contour bunding, water will take away the fertile land also, and there is no stoppage of that water. So we have to do the contour bunding. Next. This is the planing. This is land leveling. When there is an undulation of land, this is a tractor which we are land in level, maintain the level of this. Next. This is a figure showing that how the check dam is there to gully. We have to check dam so that water is stored. Contour canals in their hill area, that has to show. Next. This is the lift irrigation scheme. Next. This is the check dam. Actually, this is the type of dam. Suppose water is coming there, you have to maintain this type of dam. Watershed development, this is a structure. This you have seen this V type structures you have to create it so that water will store in these places. Next. You see that is the check dam after filling of the water. This is the check dam. This is the percolation pond. Percolation pond is used to increase the water level of that area. A watershed is what different characteristics are there: size, topography, soil relief, climatic conditions, watershed operation, land use pattern, social status of inability, and water resources of their capability. Next. When we study the watershed, then in terms of purpose, for what purpose we are using this water purpose? Whether to increase the infiltration, to increase water holding capacity, to prevent soil erosion. So all these have to be for different methods we have to be used. Yes. Next. one Karnataka state we are showing this happening the watershed management. Next, suppose that is vegetative measure. You have to provide some vegetative measure so that the watershed is water table is increases. Strip cropping we have to done. Grassland farming we have to done. Woodland engineering measures, some structural measures such as check dam, gully plugging, then contour bunding, terracing, construction of earthen bank, and construction of check dam. Anything which can be done so as to retain the water on that places. Next, construction of diversion, gully containing rock dam, establishment of permanent grass and vegetation, providing vegetation stone barrier, construction of silt tank, influence of soil conservation measures, cover of erosion, runoff and nutrition loss, and pasture cropping. To control the erosion, to conserve soil moisture to soil during rainy season. इसमें just we have to make like this, जिससे कि water जो है उसमें store रहे, इसके ऊपर as a sheet flow ना करे, ये जो आपका जो places हैं इनमें water store रहे. Next, ये सब उसी का है, ये आपका जो है embankment कैसे बना करके हम करते हैं उसका है. नेक्स्ट, ये आपका है लेवल एंड टेबल टॉप, जैसे यहाँ से आपने कटिंग किया और यहाँ पे आपने इसको डाल दिया. अब यहाँ पर ओरिजिनल स्लेब ऐसे था इसका और आपने इसको कट करके ये इस तरह बना दिया, तो स्लोप में क्या हो गया, पानी जो है स्टोर करेगा. नेक्स्ट, watershed management essential to day-to-day life. A vast range of activity of everyday life depends upon adequate supply of water. For example, agriculture, industry, power production, and inland transportation, and public health services, and so on. Therefore, to provide all these activity, construction of watershed and manage essentially. So, you have to improve your watershed. Wherever you have to live, we have to improve your watershed. When you improve your watershed, your water table will rise and the productivity will increase. Next. Thank you. So, any question regarding this for watershed, please ask. Hello? Or you can write in my box, so we can answer it.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a very insightful session for the watershed management and how it can help in conservation of water and all the resources. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on with the next session, now we have Dr. Venkatesh Dutta, who is going to have his presentation just in a moment.
Okay. Hi, Anshuman. Thank you, Dr. Gupta. Yeah, before Mr. Venkatesh Datta gives his presentation, let us briefly introduce him to our participants. So Mr. Venkatesh Datta, he works in School of Earth and Environmental Sciences in BBAU Lucknow. He's a Fulbright scholar and British Chevening Fellow. He's a member of Smaller River Rejuvenation Committee, District Environment Committee, and District Ganga Committee. He was involved in drafting Uttar Pradesh State Water Policy 2020 and also the 2019 Groundwater Bill. He also contributed to the STI Policy Framework 2020. His research interests include catchment planning, river restoration, and eco-hydrology, and has published over 100 scientific papers and mentored about 10 doctoral scholars. So thank you very much, Dr. Datta, to come and participate in our webinar. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, clearly audible.
So let me share my screen. You have to tell me if you could see the slide. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, visible.
So I'm basically going to cover on the thematic area that is water reuse and circular economy. You know, how the treated wastewater could improve our wetlands and the riparian habitats. We are using a lot of projects where treated wastewater is being used as a as an input to many of these wetlands and ecosystems, and it is also able to revive these natural places, the habitat and the ecosystem. So let me first give you a brief background why we want to discuss today about circularity and water reuse. So if you see today, we have not reached the age of circularity, and especially when it comes to water and wastewater. Why? Because we are just dumping off all our wastewater into rivers and lakes and other water bodies, and very few component, like almost like 10 to 12% of the total wastewater that we generate, they are being used, reclaimed, and retreated, and being used elsewhere for non-potable purposes. But the principle of circularity says that water should be used, reused, and returned back to nature. So that reusing and returning back to nature is very important. In circular economy, you have to use the water, and then when the wastewater is produced, treat it and reuse it for ecosystem rejuvenation or other non-potable purposes. So what is the water reuse philosophy? Use, reuse, and return back to nature. So this is the holistic approach where we not only we are interested in using the natural resource, but also reusing by reclaiming it and returning back to the nature in the same state in which we had abstracted in the first place. So water should be reintroduced to the environment without any external cost. This is very important. Why? Because we are imposing so much of externalities, external cost on the ecosystem, on the economic system also, because if the water is polluted, then this will also affect your GDP, your gross domestic production, right? So your entire social harmony and social fabric, that will be also lost when water is polluted, because you would not be doing the same rituals when the rivers are polluted. You will not go to the riverside and do a worship. You will not go to those cultural and heritage sites when those are polluted. So water should be reintroduced to the environment without any external cost to whether it is society or ecology or the economy. The main problem is the biodegradable materials, nutrients, and pathogen. We are doing a lot of high scale treatment. We are putting a lot of effluent treatment plants, sewage treatment plant, modular STPs. But the challenge is to reduce the biological oxygen demand, biochemical oxygen demand by 80 to 90% in a short retention time, and also reduce the phosphate and nitrate, and also the fecal coliform or the all those bacteria and even pathogens like nematodes and other those nasty microbes that could enter our food chain. So these three things, that is the biodegradable material, the nutrients, especially the phosphate and the nitrates, and the pathogens, they are very, very challenging for the water treatment units. So what is reused water? Reused water is the water which is used more than once, and it is done through water reclamation or water recycling. So first of all, what you do, you reclaim water from variety of sources, you treat it and then reuse it for other non-potable or even for potable purposes. There are places where there is absolute water scarcity, and people are now using the treated wastewater even for potable purposes. If you go to Windhoek or the Orange County in California, or even in Australia, some of the places water is treated to such an extent that it could be used even for drinking without any health implications. So how to develop that alternate source of water supply when the water is limited, the climate independent water source, because once you have the climate extreme events, then your water resource is also impacted. So when you are using water, reusing water for non-potable, you also develop a layer of climate resilience. You also develop a layer of sustainability because you improve on those indicators when you have reused water as a water source. If farmers could use treated wastewater for irrigation, then they could avoid getting it from fresh water. Similarly, if we are able to reuse in industries, then we could reduce the freshwater demand by 30 to 55% in industries itself. So we talk about ecosystem resilience, the capacity of the ecosystem to bounce back in case of any climate extremities or climate events are there. So if you are reusing recycled water, then you are also adding on climatic resilience. Now there is a famous quote by Dr. Lucas, who was at the National Institute of Water Research, South Africa. And he said that water should not be judged by its history, but by its quality. Because water is coming through various sources, and we should not know from where it is coming. Like, especially in many places, if you tell that, okay, this water is a sewage, now you are drinking that treated water. So he's saying that water should not be judged by its history, but by its quality. The quality that matters a lot. The quality and the wholesomeness of water that you have in your tap, or when you go for swimming or bathing or any external, recreation. So you should know that this water has passed through multi-barrier systems before coming to this place. And it is also very important that most of us are downstream community. Like if I give you example of Agra and Delhi, Delhi is upstream and Agra is downstream. So whatever Agra people are getting, they are getting the wastewater of Delhi in Yamuna River. The fresh water inputs are very less. So in Agra, what you see is the discharge of all those big drains, especially in lean season. You see the quality of water, it is all dark, black water, sewage. So if you ask, everybody is a downstream community. If we are upstream, we are lucky because we get water from somewhere else. So communities downstream of you are most likely reusing your water. So whatever wastewater, suppose in Lucknow, we are generating about 1,200 MLD of wastewater. So where it is going, only 40 to 50% is treated. Rest, about 600 MLD is going to the river. And river Gomti is going downstream to Barabanki, and that water again would go to Sultanpur and Jaunpur. So that water would become a source of fresh water, water supply to these downstream communities. Secondly, there is no one size fits all approach. Okay, so there are many examples of site specificity and technology choice, the economics, the economies of scale, like decentralized versus centralized. So there's no one uniform approach in suggesting about the treatment protocol and the size of the instrument or the STP. So you have to take into account various things, okay, when you decide about the treatment regime. Now, this is one example of a dependable and locally controlled water source. This is a picture of Gomti River in Lucknow, and this is a barrage which is required to obstruct water so that upstream of the barrage at this place, the water, there's an impounding, and this water goes to all the way a little up 3 kilometers or 4 kilometers here. There's a Gaughat water intake. So this water is being used to supply raw water to the Balaganj and Aminabad, Balaganj and there's one old water works where about 500 MLD water is treated and supplied to different parts of the old city. But now see here, there is a drain here. Now we are trying to restore it. It is a river, but now we have converted it into a drain. There are 51 drains meeting this river, and this is emptying into this river. And now, of course, during rain, the quality improves. But if you see just after the rain and before the rain, water is really dark because all the drains upstream, it is being tapped through these intercepted drains, and there's a impounding of this water, and the same water is being used as a raw water source to large community. This is the place I was talking about. This is the Kukrel River. Earlier it was known as Kukrel Nala, but we submitted a report to the government and we fought a long battle to reposition it as a river. And we were successful in restoring at least the name itself. Now it is known as the river, not the Nala. And we are trying to restore it, the fluvial terrace and the ecosystem by a different approach, the ecosystem approach. So there are many cases of water reuse. Some of the reuse are happening through planned ways, and some are happening unplanned, unintentionally, like just the example that I showed you here. This is the example of unplanned water reuse, because all this rainwater is actually going upstream and becoming the water source for someone else. So there are unplanned water reuse, like source of water is substantially composed of previously used water. And when communities are drawing their water supplies from rivers like Gomti, Yamuna, water intake, irrigation from Kali River. So a lot of water from Kali River in Meerut and, all those places, Western UP, Hindon River and Kali East, Kali West, all these dirty water, polluted water is being used for irrigation by the local farmers. So that is an example of unplanned water reuse. But there are planned water reuse where water system is designed and planned with the goal of beneficially reusing a recycled water supply. Like you have a dual water supply, you have indoor reuse such as toilet flushing. Many of the colonies, they are having dual water supply where the reclaimed water, reused water is being used for flushing the toilets and also for landscaping and gardening purposes. Similarly, there are colonies where lake restoration is being done by reused water. In Dwarka subcity, in Delhi, there is this lake project where the discharge from sewage treatment, Dwarka sewage treatment plant, and even in NCR, in Haryana, some of the lakes are being fed by the treated wastewater. And this is a very good example of lake restoration. And also we are trying to revive some of the old channels of the river by putting the treated wastewater. So there are many examples of using the reclaimed water to revive the ecosystem. And basically the scarcity is the ultimate driver of the water reuse. So whenever there is a water scarcity, there is a tendency to use that water, right? So I'll show you some examples of where we are using reclaimed water, and we did some work on the cost and the benefit and the health hazards and uses, and also the public acceptance. If you see this table, you could see that the potable water supply, the cost is very high and the public acceptance is very low. The groundwater replenishment, when we are recharging the treated wastewater, it has a very high risk of polluting, a very high health hazard. And I would not recommend using treated wastewater to replace groundwater. It is very risky. Some of the managed aquifer recharge is being done in US, but that is again a highly controlled system. And in India, many people are doing it, but I would say that this would pollute the aquifers. Now, in industrial processes, the cost is high, but health hazard is very low, and we are using in power plants and refineries. Construction activities in NCR, we are using the treated wastewater for building purposes, and there is a low acceptability due to absence of legislation. But these three applications are very important, where we are using, the cost is also very low and the public acceptability is also very high, like agriculture, environmental restoration and landscaping. So there's a huge scope of reusing the treated wastewater in these three sectors: agriculture, the environmental restoration and landscaping, and the health hazard is also very low to moderate, right? So I've tried to show it with the cost figures also. Like these costly, ventures like potable water supply and the groundwater. But here, if you see, the health risk is also less and the cost is also less. So we could go for these three, recharge. So I'll quickly touch upon the policy guidelines for water use in India. We had the National Environmental Policy introduced in 2006, which emphasized on recycling sewage, but it had no building blocks. So then it was followed by the National Water Policy. It also mentioned the use of treated wastewater for non-potable purposes, such as irrigation, industrial processes and cooling. But again, there was no supporting legislation or building blocks. Then the Ministry of Urban Development had a model water reuse regulation that was very important. And this regulation came in, it was a kind of a guideline, and it asked for, it sought safe and sustainable water use in urban areas. The focus was more on urban areas. And this regulation outlined the standards and guidelines for the treatment and reuse of wastewater. It provided a framework for regulating and monitoring water reuse practice. So this is for the first time in 2018, we came out with a very clear-cut guideline and the standards, but again, it was not very specific to industries. Then there was the service level benchmark SLBs by MoHUA, Ministry of Urban Housing and Urban Affairs, which mandated around 20% compulsory reuse and recycling in urban areas. So this, we also set up the benchmark and the the threshold that at least 20% of the sewage should be reused in urban area, and this is being followed in the master plan in some of the upcoming cities, and we are also gearing up to meet this requirement. Like in Lucknow, we are making a plan for reusing at least 20% of recycled wastewater. Then we had a very important gadget notification in 2017, which mentioned the use of water from STP for discharge into water bodies and land applications. This was very important, and we are using this gadget notification to frequently for reclaiming and restoring our rivers and water bodies, because this was the only regulation wherein we could use the treated wastewater from STPs for our lakes and wetlands. Otherwise, even the CPCB will not allow using the treated wastewater for lake reclamation. Then in November 2012, there was a very nice national framework on safe reuse of treated water by NMCG, National Mission on Clean Ganga. And now the states are making their own policies, the state reused of treated wastewater policies based upon these recommendations. There was this advisory by CPHU, Ministry of Urban Development, in August. This is very important advisory. And it said that impose a ban on use of potable water for purposes other than drinking and introduce a new workable system to restrict use of potable water for drinking only. Use of water for all other remaining purposes to the extent feasible and not detrimental to human health and well-being has to be made available through recycling and reuse process and should be augmented in a big way to meet the existing growing needs of urban clusters. So for the first time, there was this advisory on conservation and restoration of water bodies, and it said that impose a ban on use of potable water for non-potable purposes. We are also flushing our toilet with the same treated water. So it doesn't make sense to use the same high cost treated potable water to flush our toilet. So can we have this dual plumbing system where at the decentralized level where we could put where we could use the treated wastewater which are aesthetically good, free from any odor and free from any microbial risks, pathogens and other harmful agents so that we could use it at least at the local level. So earlier, there was clear absence of any legal and regulatory frameworks, but now slowly and slowly we are making some, bridging this gap, a critical gap of, between policy and practice, between legal and regulatory framework and the actual, on the ground situation. So we had a national building code. The NBC emphasized on reuse of treated water for firefighting. And this is the example I'm showing where I stay in Lucknow. We have made a 2 MLD STP, and this STP wastewater is being used to discharge into this lake. Of course, now it has been stopped from the last 1 year because the STP is not working on the local, the land, the builder. Builder is just dumping it into a nearby drain. So we have complained it. But earlier, there was a very nice system of discharging from this wastewater, from this 2 MLD wastewater into this reclaimed, lake. So lastly, we have to work on technology that works, technology that promotes safe and reliable and cost-effective reuse of wastewater. The scale is very important. The quality is important, and the capital cost for installing and the O&M cost, we have to look for certain finances because the return is delayed. We don't get immediate return, but the benefit that you get is very high. There are some risks like cross-contamination, but we are working on those risks as well through multi-barrier treatment approach. So these are some examples. The Orange County in US, where there are multiple systems of treatment, pre-purification, then microfiltration, RO, then UV, and then it goes to water delivery. So this wastewater is used for drinking, and there is no incidence of any pathogen outbreak or any, people enjoy drinking the treated wastewater because it is passing through a very strict treatment protocol. So these are some examples of what we are doing in our Lucknow. We are using the stream augmentation. This is the Kukrel River. We are using the treated wastewater from the STP, the Kukrel pumping station. And this is the Kukrel pumping station where the water is diverted to the Kukrel, the Bharwara sewage treatment plant. But currently, about 361 MLD goes to Gomti River untreated, which of course is under process. This is the Bharwara treatment. There are 3 units and around 115, 115. 345 MLD of wastewater goes to this treatment units, 345 MLD, and this is the outlet of the STP. But the outlet, the quality is still not so good. You see, this is the place where they mix water into the river, and there's a lot of froth formation. Even this is at the outfall, because there's so much of nutrients in the wastewater. Even our treatment plant is not able to treat properly, and here we need a solid technology, an intervention where we could get rid of the nutrients and the phosphates, which is resulting into these froth formation. All those surf detergents that we use, the surfactants, they would lead into a lot of froth formation. So treated water being discharged to Gomti River, which is not of good quality. So these are examples of using reclaimed water. So we have designed a clean nala system. The STPs on nalas, we are putting STPs on the nala and using through biofilter and constructive wetlands and reusing it to reclaim these channels. So these are some of the pictures. This, of course, now this has been removed. This is Akbar Nagar 1 and Akbar Nagar 2. This was the settlements on the floodplain of Kukrel River. This is now there. This is the original patch in the Kukrel forest. We are trying to put all these natural vegetation across the banks of the river. This is the place where the Kukrel River comes from, the Kukrel forest. So there are 5 major challenges. One is the cultural and social acceptability of treated wastewater, the health concerns, the infra and what you call the technology challenge. The how do you take care of the complete treatment like the Orange County is doing in California. So we don't have enough money. The financial sustainability is very important. And finally, legal and regulatory challenge, which mandates compulsory water treatment and reuse through a multi-barrier approach, and also enforces through a proper implementation mechanisms. So this is the pyramid, technology pyramid. I say the technology maturity, the capital cost and maintenance cost, and finally the acceptance, the public acceptance. It is like a innovation and technology pyramid. So what needs to be done? Establish differential quality standards fit for the purpose of end use, which is not there. Develop state policies and municipal regulations. So right now, only 10 states have drafted their policies. We are drafting for UP as well with the clear-cut standards, and develop markets. This is very important. Unless until there is a market for reclaimed water and the incentive compliance, your whole structure would collapse. So how to develop that market? Like in NCR, there is a market for treated wastewater when the building, because it was mandated by the law that you can't use groundwater, fresh groundwater for building purposes. So you have to have the treated wastewater. So there are tankers, there are fleet of tankers which get treated wastewater from the treatment plant and they distribute to the builders. So thank you so much. This is my email. So if you are interested, I would be very happy to provide you additional information. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Dutta. It was very interesting presentation and quite a lot of information you have given us already. And to some, I would definitely like to congratulate you on, because a lot of work you are doing, especially in a city of Lucknow, which is definitely rich in resources, in natural resources. But I have been in Lucknow, and I really feel sorry and pity to see when we see this Gomti River, which earlier was so good, and now. So, but really good work you are doing there, and I really hope that government, all these policies that you were talking about, I hope things work out, and we are really not looking for actually going into that time when there is water resource scarcity, which is definitely happening now. But I think government still needs some real big steering, right. Maybe a kind of a situation where then they would act probably. Still they are not in the mode of acting a lot on water. I can see that very clearly. But thank you so much. And any questions we have, we can please write to him, or even if we can ask now, or you can also drop your questions in chat.
So we can take one or two questions if like there's immediate something that is cropping up. So I would
yeah, definitely we can take. Yeah, definitely, sir.
Good evening, Professor Dutta. This is Shankajit, and Juhiji, may I put my questions if
yes,
anybody?
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Professor Dutta, firstly, I would congratulate again, as Juhiji said, on your wonderful work that you are doing. Coming to my question directly, in your last slide, you showed that to create a market for these water that are used. So on that same loop, I have my question is that these systems that are required to build these filtration systems that are required. So a lot of money or investment is also probably required. I have not clear very idea about what amount is required, but then that investment, where do you think can come? One is, of course, government. We are always kind of looking towards government, but also, I mean, where to bring that investment? So that was my interest.
So basically, you want to know about the source of finance, right?
Right.
It is a difficult question. Actually, the payback period is so large that there is lack of confidence among the investors, right? So first, we have not shown with the evidence that the treated wastewater could be a resource which could be used with confidence. So there's a lack of that confidence among investors and also among the existing utilities, because utilities are not doing it nicely and they are diverting untreated or partially treated wastewater to different streams and wherever they find. Secondly, the municipal finance, like for sewage treatment plant, they are coming from multiple sources, like center is also giving some money and state is also giving some money, but they are like some loans and grants, but utilities are not getting it recovered. There is a lag in repaying the loan. I've gone through the data of some of the utilities. They take the loan, but they are not able to repay it back, and ultimately there's a lot of burden on the utilities. So we have to think about some innovative financing models on these treatment systems. One would be to clearly establish a recipient, like in cases where wastewater is being used by a thermal power plant. I'll give you some example where there was a tariff policy of 2016, and the tariff policy mandated that power plant has to use the treated wastewater if any STP is coming within 50 kilometers of its complex. So many power plants are now taking up because they clearly established a link between the producer and the supplier, producer and the user. So that kind of linkage was there. Similarly, in Chennai, also Mangalore refinery and other refineries, plus some coastal, some industries in the coastal areas, they are buying treated wastewater because there is no other alternate source, because saline water is there, seawater is very saline, and it is easier to treat wastewater, fresh wastewater, than treat saline water. So if we are able to develop this relationship, right? So one, we are trying to do it in Lucknow. There are large users like horticulture department is there, then irrigation department is there, then railways and other industries are there. So how to look for such linkages, that is very important, and the finance. So these are critical bottlenecks. We are still struggling. Just like you, we are also not able to get the right answer, but we are trying to bring in some money through the VC and also through soft loans. I hope I was able to answer.
I got that, sir. Yes, sir. And yes, I also understood that probably that proof of the purity of the water is probably the last thing, I mean, that we can target, and then that can be marketed. So thank you. I mean, yes, I got my answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jyoti, no more questions.
Okay, any other question from anybody else? We can take one more question maybe. Okay, I think no, Dr. Dutta. Then we will move ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so yeah, so we have our next speaker today is Mr. Ravi Kumar. He's the
Sorry, Jyoti, sorry to interrupt. Anilji was probably suggesting that we might probably take a breather or something like that.
Oh, yes, Shankajit. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, please go ahead. Rekha, please, can you please mute yourself? Please, people who are not talking, please keep yourself on mute. रेखा जो नाम से आ रहे हैं, please हाँ mute कर लीजिए. Thank you. Yes, Shankajit, you want to go ahead with something?
Yes, so this is kind of a breather or a filler, you can say. So sabhi ke liye, thank you so much, everybody. So I see presently close to 75 participants, and we are still holding at that. So that is great. Thanks for your participation for this particular event, and with finish on World Water Week. I have been present through all those two presentations by Dr. Gupta and Professor Dutta. So I really enjoyed them and learned a lot. There were serious issues that they had talked about, and सब अब थोड़ा सा serious mood पे चले गए हैं. So for a breather, I was thinking कि if we can go for a game, a small game of quiz contest that आप लोग बहुत easy you can very easily acha. So yes, Anil ji is sharing the screen also. I can see the quiz. So इसके लिए आपको whoever is present here, I would request whoever can from their mobile. I will be typing. So I will be typing a particular link, a very small link. It's called menti.com on this chat box. If you can please click on that link, then from there we can start the chat. Also start the quiz. And also, very sorry that I didn't introduce myself. That was very rude. I am Shankojit Sen. I am currently the monitoring and evaluation lead at Finnish Mondial, India. So good afternoon, Nadeem ji. Thank you. So that was my introduction. So I will be like being a kind of filler person for this thing. Acha. So I will be
Shankar ji,
typing that. Yes, Juvi ji.
it will be nice if we could see you also, no?
अच्छा then I have to adjust the camera. मेरा camera थोड़ा laptop का problem चल रहा है इसीलिए morning से.
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
So very sorry for that if you I mean उसके लिए भी. But yes, then again I will go back to our little game that we are planning. So I will be typing a chat link or rather a quiz link on this chat box. And if you can everybody click on that link, तो उस लिंक ओपन करने से आपको एक नंबर मांगे. तो वो भी मैं ये चैट बॉक्स पे डाल देता हूँ. फर्स्टली आई एम पुटिंग द लिंक और आपको सभी ये स्क्रीन पे ये लिंक भी देखता ही होगा आपको. सो आई विल जस्ट राइट दी website. So this is the small website. You can just copy it and place it on your screen or on your browser. And then एक नंबर आपको स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा होगा. So I will also type that number. जब आप ये गूगल या किसी भी ब्राउजर पे ओपन करेंगे तो आपको एक नंबर मांगेगा. सो ये नंबर जब आप देंगे तो आपको स्क्रीन पे क्वेश्चंस एक के बाद एक आता जाएगा जब हम लोग ये स्टार्ट करेंगे. तो पहला जो है हम कुछ मतलब through these two presentations, ये भी एक बहुत interesting thing that I have come across कि while I was listening and seeing these presentations, many of those questions जो हमारे यहाँ पे आज है, जो आप questions जब भी जो भी login करेंगे आप देख पाएंगे. तो ये questions जब भी आप खोलेंगे, many questions will find that are already answered in two of those presentations जो हम लोग अभी सुने हैं. So it is a very interesting link that you can find. तो आप लोग अगर ज्वाइन करेंगे, मैं देख सकता हूँ, आप लोग भी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि 4 लोग ज्वाइन किए हैं और ये आंसर आप लोग दे रहे हैं. थैंक यू. 5 लोगों ने आंसर दे दिए हैं. तो we will wait for around 20 people, then we can move on towards the next question. तो अभी I can see 8 answers, 9 answers counting. This is very nice. तो ये देखने में भी अच्छा लगता है. So I will expect that everybody participates, as many as you can. तो देखिए, तो यहाँ पे you have 14 participants. Any more answers? Please, I will request everybody to be sporting. Take this up as a game. थोड़ा refresher भी हो जाएगा आप लोगों के लिए. अच्छा, so we still have 16. अच्छा. And hello, Stephen. Hope you are doing well. I see Stephen has participated. Okay. So we have 16. Please, और कोई? Acha, no, you, acha, Saroj ji and Mr. Bhatt, hello. So you can also use the Mentimeter. I guess you are answering in the chat. Okay.
70%, sir.
Acha, ओके यू कैन यूज द मेंटीमीटर आल्सो, वेरी नाइस। आप लोग ऐसे भी रेस्पॉन्ड कर सकते हैं, बट द एंटायर पॉइंट इज टू बी स्पोर्टिंग। तो कोई नहीं, थैंक यू। 70% एक आंसर आ गया। सो आई सी मेनी आंसर्स ऑन द चैट बॉक्स। 90% ओके, 70% दो, 60% one, and 50% one. So these can also be calculated, but overall we find 70%. So any more answers do we have? तो नहीं नहीं तो हम स्पिल करते हैं कि राइट आंसर क्या है। आप लोग देखिए, इतना टाइम है तो आप लोग गूगल भी सर्च कर ले सकते हैं। सो देन ऑल्सो यू कैन राइट। सो राइट आंसर वैसे भी आ सकता है। जस्ट जोकिंग, बट ठीक है। तो अभी अभी हम लोग राइट आंसर बोल दे क्या? तो राइट आंसर है 60%। सो ओनली मिस्टर भट्ट आई कैन रिकॉग्नाइज फ्रॉम हिज चैट, and Sanjay ji is the other person. So yes, thank you Sanjay ji. So great, thank you, great participation. आप लोग अगर चाहते हैं तो थोड़ा लॉग इन कर लीजिए ये क्वेश्चन में। सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में जाएंगे तो ज्यादा समय नहीं देंगे, बिकॉज ये तो फिर चीटिंग हो जाएगी। ओके, सो विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ वाटरबोर्न डिजीज? मतलब पानी से जिसका ये नहीं होता है, फैलता नहीं है जो। सो अच्छा, ओके, सो ट्यूबरकुलोसिस फैलता नहीं है, ठीक है। 6 एंड काउंटिंग, 9 एंड काउंटिंग। ओके, टिल ट्यूबरकुलोसिस हाईएस्ट। ओके, ठीक है। 13 ट्यूबरकुलोसिस। ओके, 14। अच्छा, अभी सब मतलब सभी दे रहे हैं इसीलिए ऐसा देख के मत दी। ओके ग्रेट, अच्छा थैंक यू, यू आर लाइकिंग इट, ग्रेट। सो 15, ओके। अभी 21 में लास्ट आंसर में देखा था, सो आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग कि 21। तो अभी 19 पे है। 20 एंड 21%, आई डोंट नो हु दैट विल बी। तो वो आंसर दे दे, देन वी कैन मूव ऑन।
ट्यूबरकुलोसिस है सर।
अच्छा ठीक है, लक्ष्मण जी बोले, ग्रेट,
जी
थैंक
जी।
यू। अच्छा ओके, तो लक्ष्मण जी का भी इसमें काउंट कर लेते हैं। So we get 22. Okay, great. New answers. Mostly tuberculosis, right answer. So tuberculosis, most of the people have answered right. So this is, we at least know, like wash का हो रहा है तो at least ये पता होना चाहिए. So yes, water sanitation. So good, good, very good. Thank you. Next question, Anil ji. अच्छा. So what is the term used for the process of removing harmful substances from wastewater? जो अभी वेंकटेश सर ने जो 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 बोला, जो डॉक्टर गुप्ता में ने भी जो जिस पे हाईलाइट किए थे कुछ, सो प्रोबेबली इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग इन सम केसेस, सो वेस्ट वाटर मूवमेंट को क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग? रिमूवल ऑफ हार्मफुल सब्सटेंसेस फ्रॉम वेस्ट वाटर। ओके, ट्रीटमेंट, फाइन, ठीक है। 5 आंसर्स आ गए, ट्रीटमेंट। 6 काउंटिंग, ओके, 9।
क्लोरोनाइजेशन।
आई डोंट नो, आई मीन लेट्स सी, वो देखते हैं। I mean, let's see what the answer might be. Okay, 15. Great. Very quick. अभी तो आपको मतलब you should be in the mood of the game. अब आपको
क्लोरोनाइजेशन।
just I don't know. I mean, I will देखते हैं। तो एक बार 20, 21 responses, 22 responses we are getting. तो ओके, 18 पे स्टक हो गया, ठीक है। बाकी कंफ्यूज है शायद। 19, 20, अच्छा ओके ओके, यस श्योर हो रहे थे। Okay, 22. Okay, so we get most of it. So 18 says treatment, and I would say the right answer is treatment. Yes, of course. Yeah, treatment. So we can move to the next question. ये बहुत easy सा question. I mean, I was expecting many more lot of very good. I mean, I didn't have to ask the question. ये पूछना भी नहीं पड़ रहा, ठीक है? And because I was expecting lot of students, probably we have like college friends with us.
गवर्नमेंट ऑफ
But
इंडिया।
देखिए ये तो, so this is kind of a breather question. ये आपके लिए थोड़ा सा इजी था। ओके, बाकी भी आंसर दे दीजिए, उसके बाद हम नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे जाएंगे। जल्दी से आंसर दे दीजिए। ओके, ये इसका कोई दूसरा आंसर हो नहीं सकता है। गुड, ऐसा इजी क्वेश्चंस ना रहता था। हम जब बचपन में जैसे ये वी यूज्ड टू गिव एग्जाम्स, तो एक दो क्वेश्चंस हमारे जो बहुत वेरी गुड टीचर्स जो होते थे, बहुत बड़े दिल वाले, तो वो एक दो ऐसा क्वेश्चंस दे देते थे बहुत आसान हो, इसमें तो जीरो ना मिले किसी को। सो ओके 19 वी कैन मूव ऑन देन। अनिल, यस वी नो द आंसर। अच्छा, हाउ मच वाटर डज द एवरेज पर्सन नीड टू ड्रिंक डेली इन लीटर्स? ये बहुत मतलब दिस इज आल्सो वेरी ओके, वेरी फास्ट आंसर्स। ओके 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 9 4 1 ओके ओके 4 to 6 also somewhere. Okay.
4 to 6 है।
अच्छा 4 to 6 है। ओके लेट्स सी,
जी
लेट्स सी, देखते हैं। अभी 20 तक चले गए। सो I see actually it's good that we drink a lot of water because only 5 people have said and 2 to 3 that is the right answer. Most people have said 3 to 4, 4 to 6 also. So right answer is 2 to 3, 2 से 3 लीटर। तो ये हम लोग पीते हैं पानी, नो प्रॉब्लम। आई मीन ठीक है, अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो ज्यादा पानी पीना इज गुड। ओके वी कैन मूव ऑन टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। ओके वॉश, हमारे बहुत सारे वॉश फ्रेंड्स यहाँ पे हैं, तो ये तो टाइम ही नहीं लगना चाहिए। आई हैव सीन अ लॉट ऑफ आवर वॉश फ्रेंड्स, आई मीन वॉश टीम फ्रेंड्स। यस ग्रेट। ओके ओके मैं सोच रहा था कि हाँ, जो आई वॉज एक्सपेक्टिंग कि ये दोनों में कंफ्यूजन होगा, सो ठीक है। ओके no more confusions, we have 20 answers with water, sanitation and hygiene, which is the right answer. So हाँ, waste, sanitation and hygiene ठीक है। okay what percentage of India's rural population had access to basic sanitation services by 2022? मतलब ये गवर्नमेंट डेटा के अनुसार है। so which is also ODF we can say, or at least not ODF but sanitation services। हाँ, यहाँ पे एक difference because we have all sanitation people also here. So here what I meant is that services था, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो ODF हो गया। So this is just by the services, कि कितने लोगों के पास services थे, सभी इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं कि नहीं, this is not the question. Okay अच्छा, थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है ना ये। ओके कितना आंसर्स हो गए? आई कैन नॉट सी दी नंबर्स। अच्छा ओके 18 हो गए। ठीक है, तो अभी मूव ऑन करते हैं। ठीक है, सो वी सी दैट 9 people majority have answered rightly, yes 100%, but then again I would say that this is basic sanitation facilities, not that entire ODF, open defecation fee. So we can move on to the next। तो इसमें भी ज्यादातर लोगों ने राइट आंसर दी। Which of the following is a common source of groundwater contamination? अभी प्रोफेसर दत्ता बोल रहे थे, सॉरी डॉक्टर गुप्ता बोल रहे थे। हाँ ओके 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 अच्छा अच्छा ग्राउंड वाटर कंटेमिनेशन किसी ने रेन वाटर दिया, विच इज, दोनों ने रेन वाटर दिया, विच इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। आई सी। ओके एग्रीकल्चर सरफेस रन ऑफ। ओके ओके
यूज वाटर।
यूज वाटर तो नहीं है यहाँ पे ऑप्शन पे, तो इस ऑप्शन में से मोस्टली आई मीन विच विल बी दी मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट। अच्छा जावेद वकील जी इंडस्ट्रियल, ओके वी रजिस्टर दैट थैंक यू। अच्छा राजेंद्र नायक जी सरफेस वाटर, ओके ओके तो ठीक है। सो व्हाट वी कैन सी इज दैट we have received 21 and most majority have answered it rightly. So industrial waste, because we have learned that rainwater is actually required to go into the land, which was all about Dr. Gupta's presentation, ki how rainwater should go into the land and how these land can be like, we can recharge the groundwater. So that is it. So industrial waste, right answer. So we can move towards the next one. Acha, which country has the highest number of people without access to safe drinking water? Safe drinking water, mind it. Access to safe drinking water among these four. Sorry, without access to safe drinking water. Very sorry. Without access to safe drinking water. जिसके पास safe water का नहीं है, मतलब those who do not have safe drinking water. Okay. किसी को चाइना नहीं लगता है. So we think that actually China have a better probably development standards, but yes, that is there. That is also very questionable. But then again, okay. Nigeria, most of them. Kyo African country hai. Okay, we have Stephen with us. So Stephen can also, I mean, corroborate that. But though Stephen is not from Nigeria. Okay, we have 19 answers. Nigeria most, but it's time to wake up. It's India. भारत में सबसे ज्यादा जो है सेफ पोर्टेबल पानी पीने का पानी का जो है कमी है लोगों के पास, सबसे ज्यादा लोगों के पास, highest number of people. So yes, we can move next. And more importantly, our population is very huge. इतना population है तो थोड़ा कम तो वो, that is. Which of the following is the most effective hand washing practice? अच्छा, using a towel. Okay. Hand washing, okay. Okay. Using soap and water. Good. Okay. Soap and water ज्यादातर दे रहे हैं, ठीक है. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's good. It's very good. Because at least after, this is also a post-pandemic learning that we have taken. Yes, using soap and water is the right answer. ये सबसे जो है बेहतर जो है practice है for hand washing. So post-pandemic, at least we are aware of this. Next question, if we can move on. अच्छा, अभी क्विकली आपके सभी जो भी मोबाइल यूज कर रहे हैं तो उनके स्क्रीन पे ना जो देखेंगे आप, एक टाइप करने की जगह है. यू हैव टू टाइप 3 वर्ड्स विद अ स्पेस जो भी आपके दिमाग में पहले आता है आफ्टर दिस एंटायर सेशन, मतलब इंक्लूडिंग डॉक्टर गुप्ता एंड प्रोफेसर दत्ता's प्रेजेंटेशन. ये सभी जो हमने ऑलमोस्ट अभी 1.5 घंटा हो गया है. अच्छा, अभी आंसर एक आ गया है. और द फन अबाउट दिस इज दैट जो भी ज्यादा आएगा, सो आई विल रिक्वेस्ट नॉट टू शो द स्क्रीन, टू स्टॉप शेयरिंग, नहीं तो जो मतलब लोगों को पता चल जाएगा कि कौन से वर्ड ज्यादा आ रहे हैं. Only 2 have answered, बाकी देख लिए होंगे शायद. So if you are, yes. So we see, okay, water and sanitation are the 2 most important. Okay. India soap water, Rajendra ji, very good. India soap water. Rakesh Ranjan ji said, Rajendra ji, okay. Water, okay, water, sanitation, hygiene. India भी आ रहा है. Okay, great. Safai, okay. Cleanliness, safai, okay. MHM. Okay, we didn't discuss MHM, but okay, interestingly that water and MHM are very related. So MHM is interesting. Hygiene, water and sanitation. ये expected है कि ये ज्यादा रहेगा. India उभर के आया है. So we are also, I mean, worried about our country.
Sir, hygiene.
Hygiene, ये तो आ गया है. मतलब these are most important. Okay, many more. Okay, rainwater harvesting is coming. Okay, great. Though good that rainwater harvesting is coming. Save health. Okay, save health. Okay. So we have 16. अच्छा, water, sanitation and hygiene ये तो सबसे ज्यादा आएगा. Treatment भी आ रहा है. Given water, treatment is also important. So आज हमने कुछ सीखा, so treatment से. So then rainwater harvesting has also come. Toilet has also come. 17 answers. We'll just wait for 3 words. Grey water. Okay. Ujjaval Chaurasia ji. Thank you. Grey water यहाँ पे नहीं है. So which is interesting. Safe water. Okay. Treat water. ठीक है, एक word होना चाहिए. One word. So that like hygiene, water and sanitation are one word. So safe drinking water. Okay, just to the safe drinking water. Okay, 3 words तो वहीं पे हो गए. Okay, but we will take water, drinking water. Okay, 18 responses. 3 more responses and then we will actually end this game now. I think as per the plan, Anilji, if I'm not wrong, then we are to stop here and probably we'll proceed towards again a very serious and important presentation. Right?
Yes.
Right. So
Yes,
we'll
yes.
just wait for 3 more. We'll just wait for 3 more responses. 2019. Okay. Recycle water, water safety security, water safety security. Very interesting. Water safety security, save health, wash, reuse. Reuse. Okay. That reuse is water reuse. Okay. Finish. Okay. Thank you. You remember finish. Okay. Very good. At least 1 or 2, some responses have come for finish. Thank you for remembering finish. And yes, also be part of us. Okay. 20 responses. So I think we can end here. So mostly hygiene, water and sanitation. Water is the most important term that has come up, reflecting that our sessions have been actually enjoyed. And nice. Thank you for your participation. Thank you so much. Okay, probably I will be coming back again with all these fun, but I don't know. I mean, let's see. Okay,
Yes,
thank
we
you.
have
Over
one
to
more
you,
session.
Julie. Okay, great. Then we'll do that. Okay. Then I will be coming back to whatever if you are bored or. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Shankajit. I hope everybody enjoyed and you also a little bit woke them up. Okay, so we are now moving on to our next speaker today, Mr. Ravi Kumar, who is the Director Partnerships in hashtag Per Capita Private Limited. He's based in Hyderabad, Telangana, and he is the winner of Finnish Mondial Sanitation Technology Hackathon. He has 10 years of extensive experience in water, sanitation, and hygiene sector. He is specialized in biological wastewater treatment systems such as activated sludge process, decentralized wastewater treatment systems, fecal sludge treatment plants. He is involved with Indian Institute of Human Settlements, Center for Science Environment, also Bremen Overseas Research and Development Association, who rely on his expertise in solid and liquid waste management in rural and urban settings. So thank you, Mr. Ravi. You can please start your presentation.
Yeah, thank you. I hope my presentation is visible to everyone, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm just
Yes,
trying to.
presentation is visible.
Okay. Is it in the full screen mode?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you, Finish and Trust of People and Chandra sir on following up and wanting us to be in this event. So I'm Ravi Kumar, and already Ms. Juhi has introduced. And today I will be speaking about decentralized grey water management. I'll start with the basic concept of grey water management, what is grey water and what's happening currently with it, and what does our solution in terms of treatment solution, what do we offer for grey water treatment and reuse. So that will be the broad overview of my presentation today. Yeah, I'll proceed with it. So we have wastewater. The wastewater, of course, has many sources like domestic, industrial wastewater and agricultural runoff and others. So now for today's presentation and for today's topic, I'll be specifically talking about the wastewater coming out of household, which is also termed as domestic wastewater. So in a house, typically we have 2 types of wastewater which gets generated. One is from the toilet, which is also termed as black water or toilet wastewater. So what does it contain? It contains 1 to 2 liters of urine per day per person, and then fecal matter of 1 to 400, 500 grams, depending on the country. And apart from this wastewater, we have, and of course, the flush water and um, uh, pour flush and also other flushing systems, right? Depending on the 10 to 25 liters is the typical Western toilet flushing, and in the pour flush, the volume would be less. And the other wastewater, which is from kitchen, bathroom, and laundry, is termed as grey water. So if there is 100 liter of wastewater coming out of the household, so 60 to 70 or mostly 80% of the water would be grey water. So the wastewater which comes out of kitchen, basically cleaning utensils and also wash basins and other things, is and also the wastewater coming from bathrooms and washing clothes and utensils, it terms as is termed as grey water. And how much is it produced? Like there is, it's not a clear measure, but it's empirically, if you see, if a fresh water 100 liters of fresh water is supplied per day per person, then approximately 70 to 80% or 60 to 70 liters will be the gray water which generates. So it is estimated that this, according to the source from the central government, and the Swachh Bharat Mission and Grey Water Management in Jal Jeevan Mission. So the amount of grey water which is generated in rural India is about 15,000 to 18,000 million liters of grey water. So that's a huge volume. And this grey water is less contaminated as compared to the wastewater which comes out, because most of the pathogens and the organic matter which enters the wastewater is basically from uh, the toilet wastewater, because it has a lot of fecal matter which contains pathogens as well as organic matter. But the grey water would also contain some amount of organic matter coming out of kitchen and some amount of sodiums and other contaminants which are coming out of our washing clothes and washing utensils. So what is happening currently? Where is our grey water going in our cities, in our villages, in all other areas? Where is it going? So the wastewater is basically uh, getting into open areas wherever there is no drains, or wherever there are drains but not connected downstream to any kind of treatment system, or generally they end up in open water bodies. They get collected in the open areas or water bodies. And as you see, once it gets collected in the downstream and open areas, in our cities especially, we have issue with mosquitoes, and then there is unhygienic conditions. Sometimes the site turns anaerobic and it starts smelling, and most of our drains, along with grey water and storm water, along with the solid waste, get accumulated, and then it creates a lot of menace. And this has caused a lot of issues. And as you can see also here, that just before the rainy season, or once the rainy season rains come in India, we have dengue, chikungunya, malaria and all. So I was also affected with chikungunya with the mosquito bites because of the some mosquitoes. So it's not that there is water around my neighborhood, but it causes a public health issue, especially stagnant water in our surroundings. So it has to be ensured that the water gets treated and the water doesn't get accumulated in our areas. And in most of the cases, so the picture you see on the right here, so we are doing a lake project. So we in Chitradurga in Karnataka, this is. So what we have seen is all the stormwater drains are ending into the downstream lakes or rivers, and that's the case. And in some cases, the grey water is mixed with the storm water. In some cases, it runs separately. And I'll just show you in the future slides what happens to the different type of systems which are basically predominantly adapted in Indian context, right? So, I mean, this is what is happening with the grey water. It's managed very unhygienically, and it ends up in the open spaces, which creates health issues and which also creates um, uh, stagnation and other health issues. So the next scenario, so here I'm going to give you different scenarios or different approaches on how wastewater is managed from our households in India. So if you see, there is a household, and in the places where, let's say, there is no sewer system, right? Of course, in India, only 30% or 33% of our India is connected to sewer systems. Sewer systems are the systems where all the wastewater from the household is collected in a pipe underground to our cities and treated in a centralized location in a treatment systems, in a large treatment plants. But in mostly 60% or 60% and above, they rely on septic tanks and pit to convey their toilet waste. So what's happening? All our black water, which is the water coming out of toilets, is getting collected into a on-site sanitation system. So these systems can be septic tanks, holding tank, pits, etc. So, and in some cases, and in many cases, not some cases, the numbers have to be verified because the scale is very huge. All the septic tank systems and pits, either they have an outlet where the supernatant, especially in the septic tanks or holding tanks, the water, only the water portion which comes out and again gets into the drains, open areas and lakes, uh, the supernatant, and the solid gets settled, which is emptied again to once in 2 to 3 years, and the gray water is directly connected to the drain. So the scenario one is where the gray water is black water is connected to onset system, and gray water is directly connected to the open drain. So as you can see in this picture, again from Chitradurga, there is a big canal which is flowing, and you can see all the outlets which are disposing the gray water directly into the drains. And in many cases, if this is a toilet, you also see after the tank, right? After the tank fills, the one of the outlet is also from the septic tank. So that's a majority of the scenario in India, which is happening currently. And of course, there is fecal sludge management, grey water management, all these approaches and are being suggested by the Indian government and policies and other kind of guidelines. And even Finnish is working on FSM, and also grey water is also gaining traction now. So another scenario, which is around 30%, all the grey water and the black water. Can you, sorry. All the grey water and black water is collected in a sewer pipe, and from here it goes to a centralized treatment system, a sewage treatment plant. From there, it gets treated, and in some cases, though, I mean, I think the reuse percentage, as Professor Venkatesh Dutta was mentioning, it's quite less in Indian context. But yeah, some cases there are some reuse cases as well, and it gets, all the wastewater gets collected to at a centralized location where there is a sewage treatment plant, and it gets treated and is disposed into the again rivers or streams, etc. So this is one scenario, and you can see all the household wastewater. This was constructed in the place where I stay in Hyderabad. So there was a rectification of sewage system which was 30 years old in Hyderabad. So as you see, all the wastewater was collected and then it was put into the centralized sewer system, which comes on the main road. So that's how all the wastewater is collected into a centralized system. And there is another scenario which is very prevalent, and I don't know the numbers because the scale is huge, where all the black water and gray water, they end up into the open drains. And these drains, uh, they end up in downstream water bodies, lakes, ponds, rivers, whichever the path the water takes downstream. So this is also a scenario which is, these are the kind of scenarios, centralized gray water collected directly into the drain or black water into the pit. And then the third scenario is where both the gray water and black water is entering into the open canals and water bodies basically. So I'll try to give you what could be the approaches for these kind of scenarios. And this is very generalized one. I mean, it can be applied anywhere. It's not specific to any treatment technology. So the existing scenario, basically all the gray water is directed into the drains and it gets collected, mixes along with the solid waste. It either gets collected there all the dry season, and once there is heavy rain, it gets washed away into the downstream water bodies, or it causes flooding. All the drains overflow in the rainy season. In the dry season, if there is solid waste, it gets collected, and then there is mosquito breeding and other health issues. So what could be done? So a proposed solution could be you give a interceptor so that there is solids which settle from the household, and then it gets collected into the stormwater. After any sediments which come from the house could be collected in this interceptor chamber, and from this interceptor chamber or intercepting chamber, we are basically trying to avoid any sediments to get into a stormwater drain or any conveyance chamber. And then all of this in a community could be collected into centralized location, and then where it can be treated with any nature-based system. Here I'm taking an example of DWATs, but it can be wetland system, it can be phytorate system, it can be any conventional systems as well. And then you treat it, and then you let the water which goes into the downstream, but don't let the polluted water, but then the treated water can be put into the water bodies. And this is another approach. If you see, you just collect all the gray water in case of pits and septic tanks where the gray water is let into open. You see the downstream space, and then you collect the water from there and then treat it at a centralized location and dispose into the water body. So apart from this is more like a centralized or a community based approach, which I am suggesting here. Apart from this, can be individual level systems as well. And these are few natural or few examples which can be adapted at an individual household with the less volume and less concentration pollution. So basically you have organic loading rate and you have a filter depth. So where you can collect the gray water, treat it to a certain extent, and then as Professor Venkatesh Dutta was mentioning, for the reuse are various purposes, right? If you want to use it in gardening, if you want to use it in toilet flushing, if you want to use it for other non-potable uses, the quality varies. But if there is enough space and if there is some kitchen garden available, you can just have a simple filter system, filter your gray water where organic matter degrades, and then it's sent to the maybe flowering or maybe kitchen garden, lemon trees, or any of these purposes where you can save the fresh water and instead use the gray water. And yeah, this is one of the systems as well, similar to the previous one. So yeah, this has been this was the overview of what is gray water, what is happening to the gray water, where does it end, and what are the approaches to treat it, and also what are how do we manage the gray water. So we at #PerCapita had developed a very novel and packaged decentralized treatment system for treating the gray water from individual household to a community scale. So somewhere around 5 KLD until 100 KLD also. So I'll be speaking about this technology, what this technology is, what's the process of it, how does it what are the comparisons with the other technologies. And thanks to Finnish Mondial and the team for selecting us to be as an innovative technology and awarding us the first prize in the sanitation hackathon of 2024. So I'll get into the details of humus bioreactor treatment system. So what is the solution? The solution is basically you have grey water which is generated at a household level or at a community level or at a community toilet, or not at a community toilet but at a community level or at an institution, let's say school, commercial establishments and all. So you have a pre-treatment. So this pre-treatment includes equalization. So equalization tank. And here we have a pneumatic pump where once the water reaches the top level or outlet level, it is pumped into the humus bioreactor system. So, I mean, we can use pump, or if there is enough gravity, we can also avoid the pump. And then I will explain further what happens in the humus bioreactor. Then it goes into this bioreactor system. And in cases of very reuse at where there is toilet flushing, or in such cases we use UV or ozone. But else, if it is just for reusing it into the garden or non-food crops or even for trees, you can avoid using UV and ozone. And then the treated water is directly used for reuse. What is uniqueness in our system? We have compared to any conventional system where mechanical systems such as ASP, SBR, if you are well versed with, these are the system which use aeration, which use pumps for aerating the tanks where the microbes are given oxygen so that they can feed on the organic matter. So that is avoided in our case, because the bioreactor system is in such a way that we don't need external aeration, artificial aeration as such. So that reduces our OPEX to 90%. And it's a compact system where we have reduced 2-3 tanks into one, 2-3 processes into one tank. That's the uniqueness of this system. And it's autonomous. What do you mean by autonomous? We don't need regular intervention of whether the water is going or not. It's all automated. Only in cases of warning triggers, we visit the system if there is any failure. And plug and play, what do you mean? We just have this module. We can, if there is already existing plumbing system, the water is just flowing out into the gray water, out into the drain. We can bring the compact system, put it into the ground, and the gray water which is disposed, or which is directly disposed into the drain, can be connected to this bioreactor system, and then the treated water can be either reused or it can be let out into open into the water bodies to reduce the pollution. So what's the difference between the conventional system and our system? So if you see, so the treatment, you just need to understand the concept of wastewater treatment. So wastewater contains organic matter. What is organic matter? So basically whatever we eat as a food gets digested, comes out as carbon, protein, fats, these are the organic matter. So that is further reduced, it comes out as carbon matter, and it's rich in carbon. So basically that has to be reduced to the simple form of carbon dioxide and H2O. So what happens is there are microbes in our wastewater, which are in our gut bacteria also. That bacteria along the feeds on the solids matter, and then it degrades the matter into the simple form. So in conventional system, you need high amount of bacteria, and bacteria needs oxygen. Oxygen is the energy for them. they get energy, they get multiplied, and then they feed on the organic matter, and then the organic matter reduces, leaving the clear water for us. In this case, in the conventional one, all the microbes, right, are submerged in the water because it's a tank filled with water. And then there is microbes within the water, which we can't see with our naked eyes. And then you need aeration for these bacterias to gain energy and degrade the organic matter. And that aeration is given through pumps, high, if you have seen pumps which are rotating on the top of the tanks. Some are, now there is, some are below because these are called diffusers. And this oxygen helps the bacteria to degrade the organic matter in the conventional system. So the tank sizes are very big, the volume of water is very huge, and then the bacteria also grows at certain rate. There is certain rate for the bacteria to grow. If it takes more time for the bacteria. So that is the reason why the tank sizes are very huge, and we won't be able to achieve the, you need a bigger systems. What happens in humus bioreactor? So one specific surface area, point about surface area is, so this is the area where the bacteria gets a space for the solids which get settled, and then they eat it. This specific surface area is increased by 10 folds, by 15 fold in our humus bioreactor. So what does it mean? That means the bacteria is getting more surface to feed on or to be on. When the water comes, there is high volume of bacteria. So the more the bacteria, so when I say bacteria, it's not negative, it's positive, because bacteria helps in treating the wastewater as well. So the more number of bacteria, the better the treatment. So that's what happens with the higher surface area. We have a lot of biomass or bacteria which are ready, hungry for the wastewater to come, and then they degrade the wastewater. So in our case, it is not submerged. It's in a, so as in this case, see, we have a tank, and then there is the filter media, which is proprietary filter media. We have some materials which we use, three different layers of filter media, which forms the biofilms also. And then the oxygen transfer is high because of the porosity of the media. And then we have both carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus convert. So what is happening? So wastewater is coming in here. We have this filter media which consists of 3 to 4 different filter material, and this biofilm. So there is biofilm, the bacteria, right? So the biofilm is in between this, around the filter media. And we have millions of pores like this, like millions of them. Bacteria is very small, and we have millions of these pores. And if you see, the bacteria is around this biofilm, we call them. It's around gets accumulated around that filter media surface. And then we have this carbon, which is organic carbon, which is basically glucose or any kind of carbon material which comes out of our fecal matter or any organic matter. Along with the combination, it's overgrown, and then the water gets treated. This is reduced into carbon dioxide and H2O in this case, if you see, and then the new cells are formed. So what is predation? Predation is basically, this is healthy biofilm, then it grows, and then once it grows, it automatically reduces the volume of the biofilm. So this is another microscopic view of maybe someone's speaking, someone is unmuted.
हेलो जीवन जी, प्लीज, जीवन राम कुमार, प्लीज अपने आप को म्यूट कर लीजिए.
So
Yeah.
I know it's
Please go ahead.
becoming a little technical, but yeah, I'll try to simplify. So whatever I explained you in this image, this is a microscopic view, and you can see 20 micrometers, that's small it is. So we have high porosity, and it's like a sponge, which allows a lot of bacteria to settle, and then this further reduces treats the wastewater. So compared to any other system, this is a 5 KLD, 50,000 liters, 50 KLD, 50 cubic meter capacity STP. So energy requirements, if you look at any conventional systems such as SBR, MBBR, or MBR, these are the mechanical systems. We have very high, very low energy requirements, and this energy requirement can be easily offset by solar panels, and which is that is one uniqueness, because we have very less energy requirement, and this can be offset by solar install. And land footprint is also very less, because as I explained the whole process, right, we don't have large tanks, we just have one reactor, which is plug and play. And in the cost wise, because the filter media and because we have to fabricate it in such a close, you can see the cost comparison also, and operational cost is close to minimum compared to any other system. So these are the uniqueness or advantages of our system compared to of humus bioreactor system compared to any other system which is available out there, conventional system, right? So how did we start? So we had few lab experiments. We started with 10 liters of wastewater, which we kind of collected, and then we increased it to 100 liters per day of capacity. We started to see the temperature. So there are few other controls also. We have a device which gives us the pH temperature within to understand if the biofilm, because all this bacteria have to be in certain condition, like certain temperature, certain pH, and certain moisture content also. So we use such devices to see the performance of our system. And also all of this we try to integrate with the IoT based system where we could manage it remotely. So this was our first technical pilot. So in this case, we did use grey water. It is a community toilet in Trichy, where this is how the system was. This is a huge septic tank. It was of 20,000, 25,000 liters, never desludged. Overflowing, the water was overflowing into the nearby river, um, and all the solid waste was dumped. And then this is where we did our intervention. The outlet of the water which comes out of the septic tank and the grey water from the community toilet, both were connected to our reactor system. This is the equalization tank, and below is the reactor, and where our first technical pilot was implemented, and where we found these results, which are and that's where we were very sure that this system was effective as compared to any other systems out there. And right now we have two projects which are undergoing. One is in Calicut, Kerala, where we are putting a treatment system. If you see, there is already existing tanks. Then we are implementing the system in a bakery where a lot of organic matter comes, and it's a 10 KLD capacity, and another food industry in Andhra Pradesh, where it's treating the dairy industry also. So it's not just grey water, it can be expanded to other. So that's more about our system, and this is the schematics. So we started from 5 KLD. Now we are setting up until 100, 150 KLD. So yeah, that's about the system. I'll take one more minute to explain about our company. So we are called hashtag per capita. So the idea of per capita, right? How does these treatment system impact, or how does any intervention related to environment impacts one individual? So that's the broader idea behind per capita as its name, where we do impact assessment, feasibility studies, engineering implementation, treatment plans. We have done impact assessment with firms like SGFC and other banks as well. and we undertake research and technical assistance and support in training, as in not just in the water and sanitation sector, and also enable the sustainability. And these are the broad areas and expertise. If the presentation is shared with you, you can have a look at it, and you can reach out to me. Here is my mail ID, and here is my contact details, for any such implementation or any services related to these our field of expertise here. So thank you, Finish and rest of people, and Chandra sir for onboarding us. Thank you, everyone. I am up for taking any questions, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Yes.
Ravi. It has been quite an
मैंने उतना नहीं
interesting.
लिखा, मुझे तो उसमें लिखना था ना.
One
Brinda,
second.
please, Brinda, can you please mute yourself? If you have a question, you can definitely please unmute yourself. One by one, we can take up questions. Thank you. Very good presentation. If nobody has, I have one question I would
Yes,
like to
please.
ask you. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have seen a very clear-cut comparison between your solution, your humus bioreactor, and the conventional. So what I would like to ask is, what is the challenge or what is the drawback in still in your system, which you still feel as a challenge? Because I've seen that you have just piloted it in one place and now you're working in two places. So what are the challenges that you still see for this solution to get accepted?
So I mean, the challenge is not in specific to the, good question, first of all, and we don't see specific challenge in the process itself. The process is solid, and we have done our experiments to come to this stage. One technical challenge could be to see, which we have also developed a solution for it, like to see the pH and IoT in some cases, right? Like, for example, if it is just household grey water, we are fine. But if there is, by any chance, if any other chemical contaminants come, that might hinder the process. So for that, we have also kind of installed IoT system. So the major challenge is not really technical. It's more on acceptance and people believing it. Like, and one de facto point in wastewater treatment is no one is putting treatment system for need. They are only implementing the systems for compliance, and that is not sustainable, right?
Correct.
They should see the need in it, and there are changes which are ongoing. People are saying, oh, we have shortage of water, we let us put a STP. So I think that's the challenge, which is market driven, but not really a technical challenge in our system.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great. Any questions? I think here, I think he was Mr. Yogesh. Yogesh जी, आपको सवाल पूछना है क्या? You want his presentation? We will share it with you. सबके साथ शेयर कर देंगे. अगर आपको कोई सवाल है तो योगेश जी आप वैसे भी पूछ सकते हैं, या anybody in our team,
Yeah.
because he's talked so much about grey water. Yes. Yes, Shaukat.
I see a question
ठीक है.
on
Okay.
the chat box.
Yeah,
So
I
from
see that.
Avinash
What is the
Kumar
best?
Singh, yeah.
Yeah. What is the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
treatment of black water as individual household? So it depends on the space. So the ideal or the most effective solution would be twin pit, if it is a rural setting where where there is enough space. Apart from that, the black water, uh, you know, twin pit is one best solution, which is very optimal, and other very effective. Else, there is septic tank with soak pit, which can also be adapted. But soak pit also has to be designed, and there is desludging which has to be done at a certain interval. That's where the FSM as a concept comes in. But the best, there is no treat. As such, you collect it, you treat it effectively, because there are no such small package system which can treat such high organic load of black water. That's my answer for that. I hope it's answered. You can unmute and ask if it is not answered.
Yes, Abhinesh Kumar Singh.
Yeah.
Abhinesh ji, if you have. if you think that you still have your question unanswered, you can please unmute yourself.
Yes, Abhishek.
Good evening, all of you.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a questions. Sir, gray water and black water are best treatment to we can treat together or individual.
Ideal should be individual, because if you mix them, the price or the effort required to treat it will become more. So ideal is separate them and treat them separately, because once the black water gets mixed with the gray water, then the volume increases, the pollution load increases, and then accordingly the treatment requirements also. So once you separate them, you collect the black water, which is basically, as I told, as in my presentation, it's urine, fecal matter, and the flush water, which can be collected in a septic tank and can be desludged once in 5 years. And but gray water, which gets generated on a daily basis, right? I mean, even the black water, but the volume is less. The gray water volume is huge. So then you
Yeah.
can have a separate system for gray water, which can offset your fresh water use. So my ideal suggestion would be to separate the gray water and black water.
Thank you, sir. But because I am doing just agriculture
Yeah.
UMP project, Upjao Mati Pariyojana. So I visited in my working place. So
Yeah.
mostly 60% village household person is using septic tank, not
Yes.
a leach pit shauchalaya.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the problem is going on continue, and mostly is flowing his water as a open place. So it is the creating big problems. So I'm asking that if any person is asking me as a solution, so I can flow.
I understood. So वहां पे सेप्टिक टैंक्स है और वहां से ओवरफ्लो हो रहा है सेप्टिक टैंक का पानी ओपन नाले में,
जी जी
यही तो
जी
प्रॉब्लम है ना?
नाले में बहुत ज्यादा जा रहा
हाँ
है और इसके लिए कोई कह भी नहीं पा रहा है। ब्लॉक से भी लोग आते हैं, सजेस्ट
हाँ,
करते हैं,
समझ गए
लेकिन
समझ गए।
उनका कुछ इसका प्रभाव नहीं पड़ पा रहा है।
कितने
तो
कितने
इसीलिए मैंने ये ज्वाइन किया और काफी।
और
जी सर।
कितने 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 घर हैं उस गांव में जहाँ से ये पानी
मोस्टली
निकल रहा है?
जैसे मान लीजिए कि अगर हम देखा जाए, अगर मोस्टली अगर एक फिगर लेते हैं 100 घर, तो 100 में से 25 से 30 घर ऐसे हैं जो
जी।
सेप्टी टैंक का पानी बाहर ही निकाल रहे
तो एक तो ये सजेशन होगा कि जहाँ जहाँ जिस घर में भी जगह है, वहां पे सेप्टिक टैंक के बाद जो भी पानी आता है उसको
हैं।
सोक पिट में डाल
सर
देना।
सर एक समस्या ये है कि जिनके यहाँ जगह नहीं है वही सेप्टी टैंक रखते हैं।
ये तो नया इंफॉर्मेशन, जिनके जहाँ
जी,
जगह नहीं है वो सेप्टिक टैंक डालते हैं। सेप्टिक
वो
टैंक तो
ज्यादातर
और
सेप्टी टैंक रखते हैं।
ज्यादा
नहीं नहीं,
जगह
वो क्या
चाहिए,
करते हैं कि वो क्या करते हैं, जो उनका स्पेस होता है, जैसे मान लीजिए
टॉयलेट
कि
के
वो
नीचे।
उनका, हाँ, टॉयलेट के नीचे ही कर देते हैं।
समझ गए। नहीं तो उस सिचुएशन में आपको ये करना है कि 10-15 घर जहाँ पे भी आपको जगह
हम्म।
नहीं है, आप देखिए कि
हम्म।
उन सबका आउटलेट को एक पाइप से कनेक्ट करके और कम्युनिटी लेवल वाला सोकपिट बना दीजिए। और जब सोकपिट बनाएंगे आपको बहुत सारे क्राइटेरिया देखने पड़ेंगे कि सरफेस वाटर कहाँ पे है, वो ड्रिंकिंग पानी का बोरवेल है उससे 200 मीटर या 500 मीटर की दूरी पे होना चाहिए। लेकिन एक
कम से
आप
कम 4 से 5 जगह ट्रीटमेंट होते हुए आए। जी,
प-
ऐसा कह रहे हैं आप?
हाँ नहीं, आप सब वो पाइप जो आउटलेट है ना, सेप्टिक टैंक का आउटलेट, उन
हम्म।
10-15 घरों का आप एक छोटा सा पीवीसी पाइप से कनेक्ट कर लीजिए एक जगह।
अच्छा अच्छा।
एक जगह पे लाके वहां पे आप सोकपिट बनाइए, और जो जगह आप सेलेक्ट करेंगे 10-15 घरों का सेप्टिक टैंक आउटलेट पानी ट्रीट करने का, वहां पे आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि कहीं पानी का कंटेमिनेशन ना हो। जैसे
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा।
हैंड पंप के नजदीक नहीं होना चाहिए, दूर होना चाहिए। कितनी
हाँ,
दूर? 150-200 मीटर।
बारिश का पानी भी ना हो उस पे,
हाँ ना हो।
बारिश।
अब जैसे मेन प्रॉब्लम हमारा ये होता है कि हम जब सरफेस वाटर बारिश आता है उसके साथ सब मिल जाता है, मतलब ब्लैक वाटर
जी जी
ग्रे वाटर सब मिल के चले जाता है, और वो भी बारिश के टाइम पे। सो
जी।
जैसे मैं यहाँ पे भी एक पहाड़ों में काम कर रहा हूँ, यहाँ पे सब वही है, बारिश के टाइम पे वो अपना वाल्व खोल देते हैं और सब पानी गया नदी में, गंगा में गया, और कौन से भी दूसरे नदी में गया नीचे। तो
जी
वो
जी।
एक माइंडसेट का प्रॉब्लम है। लेकिन सॉल्यूशंस तो है, जैसे मैंने कहा आप लोकली भी सॉल्यूशंस बना सकते हैं, कुछ बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजीज नहीं चाहिए इन चीज़ों के लिए।
जी जी।
ओके, एनी
ओके सर,
अदर?
प्रयास
Okay.
करेंगे। थैंक यू।
या थैंक यू।
Yeah, we are don't really we are going behind the time, so we
Sure,
have
sure,
to
sure. Yeah,
actually
I
rush.
am. Yeah, no
Otherwise,
problem.
I know I can see a lot of questions. What we'll do is we can, email you all these questions.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, we can email you, and then we can, in fact, we can do a different meeting altogether
Yeah,
with
sure,
you
sure.
and some
I'll
of
be
our
happy.
team members. Yeah. We can do
Yeah,
something like that if there is a lot of questions
yeah.
coming in.
Then
Okay.
I want to thank the team once again for giving me this opportunity to present. We'll be happy for any further questions later. You can always reach out to me. Thank you.
Yeah, it
Have
was
a good
great.
day.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Ravi.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. All the best to you. Yeah,
thank you.
thanks. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Shankajit, do you have another Mentimeter for us to play, or do we move ahead?
Yes, we can definitely, if everybody wants a breather, we can definitely
Yeah.
go for a Mentimeter.
Sir,
Okay. Anil ji,
Okay, then go ahead. Yeah, okay.
या हेलो।
okay. अच्छा, आप शेयर करेंगे वो
हाँ, मैं
Mentimeter?
शेयर कर रहा हूँ।
अच्छा,
सो मेंटीमीटर पे सभी लोग वापस आ जाएंगे। एक बार शुरू कर लीजिए।
फिर से मैं चैट पे वो लिख देता हूँ लिंक,
हाँ,
ताकि आप लोगों को प्रॉब्लम ना हो। ये menti.com है, बहुत इजी सा है। और जो नंबर था, आवर यूनिक आईडी, वो है ये बात। आप लोग सभी प्लीज अपने चैट बॉक्स पे देखिएगा। Everybody, please, requesting everybody to have a quick look at their chat box. There is this link to Mentimeter quiz. We will continue with the quiz.
तो
Okay. So also very interestingly, ये जब हम last ये question पे हम लोग आए थे, so as Anil ji has shared this, and we also see this, so it's also that somehow we are linking, or rather it's already directly linked with hygiene, water and sanitation. So water is very closely related to hygiene and sanitation, and as Mr. Kumar just presented, so treatment of that black and gray water and how we can do that effectively and also at a very cost effective way, particularly at a household level if possible. There was a question from Avinash. So it was interesting to see. तो अभी सब लोग अगर मेंटीमीटर में आ गए हैं वापस, if everybody can confirm, तो हम नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे जाएंगे। अनिल जी, do we move to the next question? Okay. How many sustainable development goals are directly related to water and sanitation? Sustainable development goals by the United Nations, 17 goals are there. So उन 17 goals में से there are some goals which overlap. जैसे कि there are first goal is if I'm not wrong, zero hunger or poverty. So like these we have life on land to protect that. So life on ocean, life in ocean, also that one of those goals. So how many goals are related to water and sanitation? Okay, 3. Okay, interesting. But then again, most of the people thinks 3, 2 things. Okay, 5, 6. Okay, we have quick answers. Okay. Okay. 2 or 3. 2 or 3. Okay, 4. 4 also some. Okay. 7. Great. Okay. 7 and 7. So at least we know that water, sanitation and hygiene, particularly water and sanitation, is very, very important. And that is why probably United Nations have also framed their goals so as to include water in at least 2 or 3 goals. Answers we'll know. 19 we have. I am also waiting for 20th. So we'll wait for 20 answers. One probably have not joined yet. So we'll wait for some time more. And then I think we can move on. Okay, so the right answer is 2. So जिसने भी 2 दिया है, thank you. तो आपने सही बोला है. Confuse हो सकते हैं 2 या 3. Okay, right. Okay, thank you, Anil. Yeah, we can move to the next question. What is the primary cause of water scarcity in India? This is very important. So I have put this in pie chart to also know that what you people think. नहीं वो ठीक है अनिल जी हाँ so people can think also I think this is something also I wanted to know all of these are very probable very close pollution I also meant water pollution and all that so these are very close options so I also wanted to know ki how many people feel okay 6 people feels over extraction of groundwater okay 1 people feel a lack of rainfall. Okay. Okay. 2 pollution, 4 infrastructure issues. Infrastructure issue is very interesting because yes, we have seen that probably our infrastructure for water supply is not yet adequate for potable drinking water at least. Not if all drinking water, but potable water. So that is there is also probably somewhere we need to concentrate. But then again, most of the people think over extraction of groundwater, and we have 21 replies. So yes, most of you are right. Over extraction of groundwater. So here where groundwater recharging comes in.
Over extraction है.
Right, Lakshmanji. So it's over extraction of groundwater, right? So this is the right answer. So we can move on to the next question. Okay. Anilji, next question. Which of the following is a key indicator of water quality? ये हमने last 2 presentations में at least सुने हैं in Mr. Kumar's presentation and also somewhere in Professor Dutta's presentation also. So temperature, turbidity, pH level, color. Turbidity. Okay, 1 says turbidity. Okay. Saroj Gorji says 2. That is turbidity. Okay.
Turbidity, sir. Turbidity.
Okay. Turbidity, Lakshman Mishra noted. Lakshmanji, turbidity. Okay. Color. Color is interesting, which can also be another indicator actually. But yes, then again, if the color is very murky और उसमें मिट्टी मिला हुआ है तो वैसे ही हमको पता चल जाएगा की इंडिकेटर जो है जो वैसे आंखों से आसानी से दिखता नहीं है सो आई हैव already answered to that so that's basically pH level so pH level is the key indicator of water quality ज्यादातर लोगों ने right answers दिए so mostly we are getting right answers.
Sorry, Shankadesh, sorry for interrupting you. Can we do some of the questions later also maybe towards the end of the session? Yeah, because we still have 4 speakers remaining, no?
Absolutely. We can go over this again.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Anilji, then we present it then again in the next slot.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, so we move to our next speaker, who is Mr. Stephen Birungi. He's Secretary, Technical Working Group of Finnish Mondial Technical Working Group. He's based in Uganda. He is also the WASH advisor at Caritas Portal, Fort Portal, Hivasa. And he has a vast experience in WASH solutions across Uganda and other regions in Africa and Asia. His expertise is key in advancing programs' mission to improving sanitation and hygiene. His insights includes a collaborative and innovative approaches taken to address sanitation challenges through a hackathon, which Finnish conducts every year. So yes, over to you, Stephen. Can you please? You want to show your PPT, or Anshuman, are we going to display his PPT?
Thank you so much, Johi. Yeah,
welcome,
I'm okay if the PPT could be displayed, but if it's not, I can also share from my end.
Okay.
Sir, if you can share.
I share from my end.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Kindly confirm if you can see my screen now.
Yeah, we can see it.
Thank you so much, Johi. A very good afternoon. I think now it's afternoon across the globe for all the participants.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad to
absolutely.
be here. My name is Stephen Birungi. I'm a WASH advisor at Caritas, and I'm part of the Finnish Mondial program, where I also work as the secretary to the technical working group. I appreciate that today have been offered an opportunity to share with you the our hackathon series under the Finnish Mondial program and how that is supporting in terms of innovation, scalability, and also financing. So the idea is that by the end of the presentation, we may be able to also be convinced to participate in the next series of the hackathon. So my presentation will have an introduction, an overview of the Finnish Mondial hackathons. I will talk about the rewards and benefits of the hackathon series. I will also mention how someone can participate, and then also there will be a call to action. A little bit of the introduction in relation to the Finnish Mondial and the hackathon series. The Finnish Mondial is a global. It is important to note that the Finnish Mondial is an initiative that envisions a world where everyone has access to safely managed sanitation and is financially included. Like we heard from Johi, it started in around 2008/9, and it has been scaled up both geographically but also internally within the program evolution. The latest figures that I have received indicate that the program has seen the construction of over 2 million sanitation systems across the 5 countries where it is currently running. Actually, the 2 millionth toilet was celebrated some time back this year in India. This means that over 9 million people have been reached with safely managed sanitation systems or services. And in terms of leverage, like we heard from Johi in her introductory presentation, there is a lot of employment that is generated through the program. And this construction of these 2 million sanitation systems have contributed to over 20 million work days generated through construction. The overarching goal is to create a world where people are financially included and have access to sustainable sanitation solutions. So to address this, Finnish Mondial has employed several strategies, and some of them include fostering innovation. Every other day, we look at what new innovation should be brought on board to address effectively and efficiently the sanitation system that exists. Then also would like to make sure that there is scalability of these sanitation solutions or technologies so that there can be increase in terms of access. So we are scaling in terms of geographical scale, but also in terms of how the technology is to develop from one stage to another. And then, of course, would like to reduce the overall cost of sanitation systems such that people may be able to fund the sanitation technologies that they would like to adopt. If the cost is low, then demand for the same will increase. But if a facility or a technology is expensive, that would hinder scalability and of course adoption. So in order to make sure that we bring down the cost of investment so that systems can be affordable, we really put a lot of efforts in innovation. So to do that, we have brought on board the hackathons. And as you know, the hackathon is kind of a competition whereby we run an advert, we select a theme, and then technocrats or innovators think about the different innovations that they have to do to address the challenge that is existing. At the end of the day, it goes through an evaluation, and then the winning innovation is adopted, piloted, and then scaled up. It is important to note that our inaugural hackathon series was in 2020, and the theme for that series in 2020 was on rapid and cost-effective sanitation infrastructure, and that bore us a winning innovation of a Ventiva toilet. This has been piloted in Kenya. Then in 2021, the theme was about tackling climate-related challenges in achieving equitable sanitation access. This bore the flood-proof toilet. In 2022, we had the theme of enhancing the operation and maintenance of sanitation systems. That led to the winning innovation being a digital feedback system for public toilets, whereby a user of a public sanitation system is able to just click on a digital system that has been installed just outside the sanitation system, and then feedback is received by the operator of that sanitation system, and then that would ably support the operation and maintenance system of that public toilet. The most recent one is what we've been hearing from the previous speaker, which is a humus bioreactor. That was a winning innovation that was addressing the challenge of grey water recycling for sustainable agriculture. It is important to note that 4 hackathons in total have recorded 178 applications from across the globe. On the right-hand side, you'll see the map, and you'll see where participation has been drawn across the globe. So the hackathons are really a global event. What are the rewards and benefits of participating in our hackathon series? First and foremost is that there is recognition and also prizes. Participants stand a chance of being recognized within the wash sector. We do offer prizes for the winning solutions. For the last 4 hackathon series, the winning prize has been 5,000 euros. But in the subsequent hackathon series, which is going to be hackathon 5, it is going to run later this year. We are planning to increase this to 10,000 euros. The first runners up has been getting 3,000 euros, but we intend also to double this to 6,000. And then the second runners up has been getting 1,000, in the hackathon series for 2,000, and in the hackathon series 5, this will be doubled to 2,000. Then also, there is also a population vote whereby the participants at the winning ceremony are given a chance to select who they think is the winner, or who they think should be the winning innovation. And that one also is awarded 1,000 euros. Then there is also opportunities for mentorship and also a chance to pilot your ideas. If you become a winner, the winning innovation gets piloted in one of the countries, and following what results come from the pilot, the same is scaled up, subsequently is integrated into the Finnish Mondial program and scaled up across the other countries. The second benefit is the networking opportunities, and in here we are saying that these hackathons also provide a platform for participants to network with industry experts, potential employers, and also like-minded individuals. And this is very key. Then there is the other benefit of professional development, whereby the experience is a great. The experience gained from participating in the series is a great addition to one's resume, through showcasing one's ability to innovate and collaborate. And this can be a springboard to greater heights. How does someone participate? One is the eligibility. Participation is open to everyone, inclusive of university students and also professionals with an interest in water and sustainable development. So anyone can participate in this hackathon series. The registration process is through, you can register through our website or an event page. When we run out, when the hackathon series rolled out or announced at an event or launched, then there is a page that is opened, and through that page you are able to register and then fully participate. On the right-hand side is an example of a flyer that we normally put out across the different social media and also on our website and other networks that we share through. This was an example of the flyer that we used in the previous hackathon series for grey water recycling. So this is what we normally do, and people can be able to register and then participate and submit their ideas and innovations for evaluation. What we expect is that participants will work in teams to develop solutions within a specific time frame. And after they have worked on their solutions stroke innovations and submitted them, these will be evaluated by a team or by a panel of experts, stroke judges, who then will come up with the results. And at the end of the day, there will be an official launch whereby the results of the winning innovation are shared with all participants at that global event that would be organized. So kindly look out for the next for the subsequent hackathon series number 5, where an advert will come out and be shared before the end of this year. The positioning and scaling, the important aspect with the hackathon series that we are able to learn and receive feedback from the previous experiences and reflections. And based on these reflections, the hackathon series will now, number 5, the hackathon series 5 will now span a period of 6 months from the launch up to the winning of the winning innovation, and then all events such as the launch, the evaluation, and the announcement of the winner will be standalone. So it is better that we connect the dots. We connect right from the launch up to the time the winner is announced. And this time round, we seek to have a global coverage by taking advantage of various platforms so that the innovations of participants can have a wider coverage of their innovations. The call to action. I would like to encourage every one of you to take part in our next hackathon series, which will be hackathon 5. And I'm saying that it is not just about winning, it's about making a difference in the world. Together, I know that we can create solutions that will bridge barriers to the future and to the future-ready ecosystem. I would like to end by sharing the team with whom I work, and that is the technical working group under the Finnish Mondial program. It has a vast membership, chaired by Dr. Martin Muchangi from Kenya, myself, Stephen Birungi, as the secretary. We have Valentine Post, who is the CEO of Finnish Mondial, as the advisor. We have Abhishek from India. We have Mengistu, who is a member from Ethiopia. We have Mildred from Kenya. We have Wahida from Bangladesh, Vincent from Uganda, and Yahaya Luinde from Tanzania. I would like to end my presentation by calling all of us to participate and support this drive so that we can create a global sanitation revolution together. Thank you so much. Back to you, Joy.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much. This was much needed, I think, because I think some of the participants today is also from some of the universities. And earlier, many people did not even know what exactly hackathon is. So some of them would simply say that, oh, it is just probably we have to run. It's like a marathon or something. So it was not even clear what they have to do, how they have to do. So this, I hope that this has made it very clear that there is an application when we make an announcement everywhere. There is a page which you very clearly said, and then they have to fill up that application if they think that they have a technology which a solution which can improve the current situations of water, sanitation, hygiene, waste management, whatever different technologies that we usually select as a topic for every year a hackathon. So thank you very, very much, Steve. It has been a very great presentation. Any questions from any of the participants? We'll just take one question probably because we are running out of time. So any questions?
Hello.
No?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, Anshuman, yes.
So when will be the next hackathon will be held, and what
When is
should be
the
the process?
next? Yeah, in the process. Okay. Yes, Steve. So he's asking when is the next hackathon?
Yeah, I would like to say that kindly keep your ears to the ground. We are in the preparation for the next series, and it is slated to, the launch is expected to be in around November. But currently we are working on the theme that will be of focus for the hackathon series number 5. So kindly keep your ears to the ground, and once it is the theme has been identified, we shall officially launch it, and then through our websites and other social media networks, you'll be able to receive this information. And I kindly implore you to do participate in the next hackathon series number 5. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Great. So we will be waiting for the next hackathon. Okay. So if we have no more questions, we will go ahead with our next presentation. So next, our speaker is Mr. Abhishek Chaudhuri. He comes from Finnish Services Management Company, which is FSMC Private Limited. He's based in Ranchi, Jharkhand. He is also the project lead, or I would say heading Finnish Mondial India operations. And he has over 18 years of experience in microfinance, rural and micro insurance, banking, sanitation, waste management, fecal sludge management. His focus areas include, but they are not limited to just fecal sludge management and waste management. He's also participating in a lot of government and related projects like Swachh Sarvekshan. Under his leadership, FSMC has thoroughly explored prospects of co-composting product from dried fecal sludge and municipal waste, with aim to establish it as a safe and effective fertilizer substitute. So over to you, sir. Abhishek, sir. I hope you're still there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Julie, for the introduction. And I think Anshuman will be playing the PPT.
Yes. Yes. Will you share the PPT, Anshuman? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just like to introduce our organization or our program, which is called Finish. So Finnish people may find it a very funny kind of a name. But
Sorry, sir. Sorry to interrupt. This is Anshuman. This is again. I think the PPT is not getting displayed.
yeah, it's not
I think
visible.
yeah, it's not visible. I think you again
Just a
pressed
second. Just
by
give me a second.
mistake. Yeah, stop sharing. Yeah.
So till the time the presentation comes, I'll just start speaking to the audience. So
Sure,
Finish
sure.
is basically an acronym which stands for Financial Inclusion, Improved Sanitation and Health. So if you'll see, there are three keywords here. One is financial inclusion, another one is sanitation, and the third one is health. So the project actually started like that, with a focus on sanitation through financial inclusion. So what we did, we tied up with various microfinance companies in the country, so that with an objective that these MFIs, these microfinance companies, will do sanitation financing in their areas. So they, prior to that, were only doing income generation loans for their women clients in rural India. So we then started mobilizing them to provide loans for toilet construction, for sanitation facilities. And luckily, the Swachh Bharat mission also got launched in the year 2014. And then this program got a boost. And now, as Steve was mentioning, that it is now has expanded to 6 countries. So it's now a 6-country project. But what we realized gradually, that initially, even the Swachh Bharat mission's focus was also on construction of toilets. So then we realized that only construction of toilet is not sufficient. And the main focus should be on safe disposal of the fecal sludge. So what we were earlier focusing was only on containment. So then gradually, we realized that only containment is not going to help. So the treatment, the safe disposal of the fecal sludge is the ultimate objective. So gradually we started making efforts on treatment of fecal sludge, because everywhere we do not have this 2-inlet spit toilets. So 2-inlet spit toilets means we have on-site treatment of the fecal sludge. But in other cases, that fecal sludge has to be collected, transported, and then it has to be treated. So with this background, I'll just start my presentation. Anshuman, can you move to the next slide? So this is the structure of my presentation. I'll just give you a brief overview of my organization, FSMC, and then I'll delve a little deeper into the subject. Next slide, please. So FSMC is a social enterprise, basically, which was registered in the year 2014. And it is a part of the Finnish project. So you can see this name, it is in the name as well, Finnish Services Management Company, Private Limited. So just as the Swachh Bharat mission or our Finnish project moved, we also initially focused on construction work. Then gradually we realized that we have to focus on other aspects as well. So now, if you'll see, the Finnish Mondial project is not only talking about wash financing or sanitation financing, it is talking beyond that. It's talking about waste management, it's talking about MHM, it's talking about wash enterprise development, fecal sludge management, a lot of things now. So this FSMC has its presence in the eastern part of the country, and we are very much active in Odisha and Bihar right now. So we are working with 10, sorry, now it has become 11. So with 11 ULBs, ULBs means urban local bodies, so municipalities and municipal corporations. So we are working with 11 ULBs right now in Odisha and 2 corporations in Bihar. So our major focus areas are fecal sludge management and Swachh Sarvekshan. So this presentation is mainly focused on fecal sludge management. So I'll talk about it more. So fecal sludge management, like if we go to the next slide, we'll see that there are presently 2 scenarios in our country, or maybe it's like globally. So there are 2 situations. One is places where we have FSTPs or some treatment plants, or places where we do not have any treatment plants. So places where we do not have any treatment plants, what is happening? You can see the first picture. that the fecal sludge that is getting desludged from the tank, because there is no treatment facility, it is dumped in the open, either into open fields or into water bodies. So this is situation one. And situation two is, there are places where we have these treatment plants, but then the entire focus is on water. So what happens is that the solid part, although it is 2% of the total mixture, but that solid part is getting accumulated. And you see the second picture, this is a go down of a fecal sludge treatment plant in Odisha. So the situation is like all these go downs are gradually getting piled up with these dry or these treated dry fecal sludge. So ultimately what happens, when this quantity increases, it will be again dumped in the open. So which means the pathogens or the bacteria that are still present in it will again go into the soil. So what we have tried to do is, we have tried to come up with a technology. Next slide, Anshuman. So we have tried to come up with a technology to address both these situations. So our focus will be on reuse, because instead of throwing this resource into the open, we can just do some value addition and we can come up. Abha Mishra ji, yeah, I'll just come. I'll tell you about the areas in Odisha, Abhaji. It's there in the next slide. So what we have tried to address these two situations, and we have tried to come up with a product which is of some which is beneficial to the environment, to the climate. And the technology which we want to follow is a very simple technology which can be replicated very easily. And like even the rural people or even uneducated people can be trained on it, so that this can be taken forward. And most importantly is that our intervention or our solution is totally nature-based, and it is zero energy requirement is there. So it is totally energy efficient, and it is very simple and it is totally nature-based. And it is also a very low cost. So I'll take you to that solution also. So going to the next slide is the first model which we are doing in Odisha. It is like where we have FSTPs. So in Odisha, all these ULBs, they have their own FSTPs right now. So they are facing a different challenge. So their treatment is not a challenge, but in their case, the solid fecal sludge, the dried fecal sludge, which is getting piled up in their warehouses or in their godowns, that is the challenge for them. So we have come up with a solution, like which all of you, I think, or most of you know, it is co-composting. So what we are doing is, because these municipalities or these ULBs, they are also collecting the municipal waste from the households. So we are getting that municipal biodegradable waste from them, which is actually the wet waste. We are mixing it with the dried fecal sludge in a certain ratio, and we are producing this co-compost. So this co-compost is like a manure, like a soil conditioner, which can be used in agriculture or floriculture. So that is the objective. But then we have also come up with the financial model. So the financial model is like, we will leverage the entire infrastructure of the ULB. So in our model, we are actually investing nothing. It's a zero investment model where we are doing the handholding support, we are giving the technical support, and we are giving the marketing support. So the space required for doing co-composting is provided by the ULB. The raw materials, that means the dry fecal sludge and the organic waste, is provided by the ULB. by the municipalities, and also the labor will be provided by the municipality. In return, what we will do is like we provide a supervisor who will be monitoring the entire process of co-composting, who will be recording the temperatures. Actually, the temperature and the moisture levels are to be recorded twice in a day. So the supervisor will be doing that. The basic quality control part will be done by the supervisor. And then FSMC will do the marketing of the product. And the revenue which is generated will be shared in a ratio of 60:40 with the ULB. So the ULB gets 60% of the sale proceeds and FSMC retains 40% of it. So this is a model which is used in places where we have FSTPs. This is model 1. Anshuman, next slide, please. And in Bihar, what we are doing Bihar, because there are, I think, 1 or 2 FSTPs only. So in Bihar, in Gaya and Purnia, we have come up with a small decentralized FSTP, which is very cost effective. It hardly costs 15 lakhs. So if you go to and otherwise the entire model is same. So in places where we do not have FSTPs, there we do the construction of the FSTPs. So the land and the investment has to be done by the ULB or the government. And then we will do the O&M as well. So the construction of the FSTP will be done by us, and then the remaining part of co-composting and marketing is then done by us. So these are the 2 models that we have come up with. So the FSTP which we propose here is, Anshu, next slide, please. So it is totally nature-based. If you'll see, so it actually has a vertical constructed wetland, which is then connected to the horizontal constructed wetland. So I'll just explain you what these 2 wetlands are. So the vertical constructed wetland is basically a bed which has a sand and gravel filter. And this fecal sludge, when it arrives to the FSTP, it is first discharged at the vertical constructed wetland. So it also has some phytoremedial plants there. So you can see in the photograph. So it's having some plants also, which actually helps to tackle the BOD and COD level of that effluent. And this vertical, it is called vertical because the filtration happens here in a vertical direction. So the solid part remains over the filter material and the liquid filters down vertically. And then at the bottom, there is a chamber through which the liquid flows to the horizontal constructed wetland. This horizontal constructed wetland is a bed which has gravel filters, and it also has these phytoremedial plants there. So we normally use canna here. So the water here flows horizontally. So so when it flows horizontally, this water gets treated and it finally gets collected in a collection tank. So we have basically 3 kinds of tanks or beds. One is the vertical, one is the horizontal, and then the final collection tank. So this water is getting treated in this way. And then the solid part, yeah, Anshuman, go to the next slide. Yeah. So the solid part, you'll see it's getting taken out from the bed. And then this solid is mixed with organic waste. And we follow the windrow method for composting. And these windrows, the further decomposition happens. During this decomposition, a certain temperature level is to be achieved, in which the pathogens and bacteria are neutralized. So when we sieve the product, when the product is ready and it is sieved, we have a safe product comparatively. So why I use the word comparatively is because it has certain amount of bacteria or pathogen but which is below the safety parameters as per the parameters devised by us. Because globally, we presently do not have parameters for co-compost, but we have come up with 22 parameters, which I think is in the next slide. So these are the parameters which like our team of experts have come up with, which basically studies the nutritional value of the compost, and it also looks into the heavy metal content, and it also looks into the bacteria and pathogen content in the co-compost. So to substantiate this, because we need to establish the product as a safe product, we are getting it studied by the Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology. So they are doing a study on this product. So they are growing ladyfinger, and then they will come up with the quality parameters of the product. They'll come up with the impact of the product on soil, and they'll also come up with the quality of the crop that has been grown through application of the co-compost. And they'll also come up with the ideal dosage of co-compost. So our objective is, we are looking at this product not only as a reuse product, but we are looking it as a substitute to chemical fertilizers. So we want to do it in a large scale so that ultimately we can impact the agriculture. And as you all know that how this soil quality is getting depleted. So with the application of this co-compost, which can act as a soil conditioner, the soil quality can get depleted, can get improved. And finally, it also has a sponge-like quality. So it holds water. So this water holding capacity, so if we keep on applying this co-compost, so then in a longer run, this co-compost will impact the water consumption for agriculture as well. So this is the target which we have taken. And so Anshuman, move to the next slide, please. So these are few test reports, which I think it won't be visible like this. We'll share the PPTs with you. So you can see that these test reports are very encouraging. Yeah. So you can see, if you compare it with the previous slide, you'll see that all the parameters are falling within the safety limits. But yes, because there's no authority right now which which can state that, yeah, these are the parameters which can be considered. But presently, we are doing the advocacy on the basis of these 22 parameters with the government. And not only Orissa OUAT, we are also are getting into a tie-up with NBRI, National Botanical Research Institute, which is in Lucknow. So they will be doing a similar study for us, and they will be helping us in neutralizing the pathogens and bacteria content in the co-compost through biological measures. So that is a very interesting project which we are going to start with NBRI very soon. So next slide, Anshuman. So yeah, so this is the impact which I was mentioning, that not only sanitation, but this intervention, actually, if you'll see, it not only focuses on reuse of biosolids, but it also provides an additional revenue source to the ULBs. It also impacts climate and health, because it helps in reducing water and soil contamination, reduction of CO2 emissions. And the biggest impact which we foresee, it will be in agriculture. So we can project this product as a substitute for chemical fertilizers. And it also will, in the long run, impact the water consumption in agriculture. And yes, of course, it also gives an option of livelihood creation, because the people who will be, because when we are talking it in a large scale. So each and every district, maybe we are going to take it to. So the people who will be involved into doing this co-composting work and marketing work. So you can see that a lot of livelihood can also be generated through this. And also, because what our experience has been is that women are majorly involved in waste management practices, treatment practices. So it also gives a very good platform for gender equality and social inclusion. So these are the widespread impacts that we are looking forward. But yes, there are certain challenges as well. So the challenges, what I mentioned earlier, is like we do not have in India or even globally specific quality parameters, standards for a product like this, because fecal sludge is involved in it. So that is a challenge on which we are working it to establish this product as a safe product. And also the infrastructure required, because these FSTPs, we also need to have labs or some monitoring institutions are also required, which can help in maintaining the standard of the product. And the biggest part is also there's a taboo that the behavioral change has to happen, because people still consider this product to be very maybe an unsafe or dirty kind of product, because human waste is involved in it. So many a times, like we have faced the same problem. Our supervisors, they initially they join us that yes, sir, we'll work. But when they realize that every day they have to put their hands in that mixture, which contains fecal sludge, for taking temperature and moisture measurements, so many of them have quit the job. So that attitudinal change is also required. So these are basically the challenges which we are facing right now. But like this is a very, very close project to our heart, and so a lot of effort has gone in, and we have made a lot of progress in this till now. And I think we are not much far ahead to getting this product approved as a safe product. And then we can go ahead with the impacts which we are like what we want to achieve. So yeah, so that's it. So this is what I had to present to you all. Thank you so much. And I think there were some questions. I'll just go back to the questions. Abha Mishra ji, which area in Odisha? One was an MRF, that was wet waste, not sludge. The wet waste in MRF is mixed with other waste. The method segregating responsibility. Abhaji, can you unmute yourself and
Yeah.
yes. Yes, madam, please.
The question was, I was just wanting to understand which are the areas where you're working currently on this wet, because you have shown two photographs, which one had the sludge and which had the other had the wet waste, which is segregated, but it's still mixed.
No, ma'am. That the photograph I have shown, I think, Anshuman, can you just go back to the PPT? So one is like where the fecal sludge is getting dumped in the open.
Yes.
And second is a go down of an FSTP where the dried fecal sludge is getting piled up.
Okay. So it's not the wet waste, because you were mentioning that both where you are mixing a wet waste and the fecal sludge.
Yes.
So
that
I was trying to understand, because the way it is, that's also the MRF construction site, basically, where they under the MRF they are doing the biocomposting of the waste.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So what they are doing presently, they are making that municipal waste composting, where they do not mix anything else. So that is why we are calling our product as co-compost.
No, the thing is, why I'm asking you, even in the wet waste which they are processing, they are not able to clean it totally 100%. So basically what happens is that the bio waste which is coming on, you have some elements of the plastic or some other elements and other
Right,
things. So
right.
when you are making your co-bio waste or whatever you call it, then how it is it? So the segregated part
Yes,
or
we
the
are
wet waste,
getting
are you getting it properly segregated waste or something like that?
we are
Or
getting
you are
it
doing it
properly
again on
segregated,
your
ma'am.
own?
We are getting it properly segregated. So that is our condition with the ULVs, that because the labor is to be provided by them. So we make best use of their labor in getting the segregated wet waste. We only take the biodegradable waste from them. All plastic and paper and everything has to be segregated first before giving it to us. So they provide us totally pure segregated organic waste. And Anshuman, if you go back to that Odisha model, there we have provided the list of the ULBs where we are working in Odisha. So Odisha, ma'am, we are just started with Cuttack now. And prior to that, we are working with Dhenkanal. Yeah, it's there. Cuttack, Dhenkanal, Jharsuguda, Bilpahad, Nayagarh, Aska, Hinjlikat, Soroda, Kamakhanagar, Bargarh, and Rampur. So these are the 11 ULBs with whom we are working presently in Odisha. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions or Juhi? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is one more from FS Chirala, Nahida. She has asked maybe, but since we have less time, we can also ask her to send you all these questions. We can email you these questions. Or do you want to take this up quickly?
Yeah. Nahida, so what I mentioned is like the co-composting process is the key. So if you'll see in this entire thing, there is a two-step treatment is done basically. The first treatment is done while doing the filtration in the beds when we have these phytoremedial plants which actually work on the BOD and COD of that effluent. And then for this pathogen control, that is why we are doing windrows. So when we do the decomposition of this waste through window technology, what happens in this window, there is a temperature gets generated. So around 60 to 65-degree temperature gets generated inside the mixture. And the moisture level has to be around 30 to 40 degrees. So this is what we take care of during the decomposition phase. So this is what we take care of during the decomposition phase, that the temperature generated should go beyond 60 degrees and the moisture has to be maintained within 30 to 40 degrees Celsius. So this temperature actually helps in taking care of the pathogens and other harmful bacteria present in the fecal sludge. So this process of decomposition is actually the key.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think Nahida ji, do you want to say something? Any observations? Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, great. So yeah, thank you, Abhishek sir. Thank you so much. So we will move to our next speaker, and she is Miss Vidhi Agarwal. She is an academic. I'm sorry, I just can't speak this word. And social activist. She's a president of Techno group of institutions based in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. Academic edition. Okay, sorry. I give up. So, and she's an active member of of CII, and she's recipient of Women Achievers Award 2020 by ABP News. She has more than 12 years of experience in academic consultancy and research and management and guidance. Through her roles in Young Indian Lucknow chapter, particularly as Yuva chair and also chair for climate change, again for Youth Indians, she has actively promoted youth development and environmental sustainability. So thank you very much, Ms. Vidhi Agarwal, to having joining us today and being one of our speakers. And sorry, we have kept it, I mean, it has been very long for you, a long wait. Yeah, please. Floor is all yours, please, ma'am.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Vidhi Agarwal, and she already given my CV, and so I just start very quickly. I just want to share a few of my case studies about the drinking water and how the water has been restored and made it drinkable for the livelihoods. So first is from the Lupin Limited. So Lupin is the, as we all know, is the major company. Can we change the slide? Okay. So Lupin Limited is a prominent transitional pharmaceutical company. As we all know, Lupin serves very nice medicines and all. And just give me a minute. I just not able to minimize this.
No worries. Please take your time.
Yeah. So the company is committed to social responsibility through the Lupin Human Welfare and Research Foundation, established in October 2nd, 1988. It was created with the goal of developing sustainable, replicable, and evolving model for rural development in India. Initially focused on 35 villages, and Lupin has explained its impact, transforming and revitalizing life in 2,200 villages across various regions of the country. So LHWRF has emerged on one of the largest and most impactful NGOs in India. So Lupin has done a great job in this sector for many villages. Next is water scarcity was significant challenge for the people of Cincinnati. They started their project from the village called Cincinnati. Villages dependent on 5 open wells along the shoreline of a shallow pond, which only held water for 8 to 9 months each year. During summer, the pond would dry up, causing the open wells to run dry as well. The villagers' drinking water supply mainly came from tube wells, tanks, and hand pumps. The wells near Tal Badan Singh provided sweet, potable water, but faced issues during the summer and monsoon during the dry up and submergence. A project was initiated to address these specific challenges. The project's primary objective was to implement the rainwater harvesting system to ensure a reliable drinking water supply for the village. So overall, the project has been started for the help of the villagers because they were suffering a lot because there was water just for 8-9 months, and rest of the months they have to manage by themselves. So Lupin has taken the great initiative for the villagers. Now the problem was the village was lacked access to potable drinking water. Most deep aquifers ranging from 350 to 400 feet contain brackish, non-potable water. The shallow aquifer would dry up every summer. Women in the village were burdened with carrying water from distant wells on their heads. The animal population also faced water scarcity during the summer when pond dried up. Open wells along the pond's shoreline lacked platforms, making it difficult to lift water properly. During the monsoon, the wells became submerged in the pond water, leading to contamination of the well water. So, being Lupin is a pharmaceutical company, they realized that contamination of water gives lot of health hazards to the villagers. So they discovered a new thing, a new phenomena. Next slide, please. So mass awareness was created among the villagers. They drive many awareness sessions for the villagers. The benefit of the project were discussed in an open meeting, like the Gram Panchayat and the Panchayats. They discussed about these problems. Villagers were invited to participate in the project. The villages' amenities and land use patterns were studied. Encroachments were identified and removed. A work organizing committee was constituted. So these were the things how they started their awareness sessions. Project strategy, the material and the method, what they used. The project was timely sanctioned during the dry pond season with encroachments resolved. Machine and villages tractors were used for the excavation due to labor engagement in farming. Indigenous technological knowledge was incorporated with dikes built to accommodate plantation. Open wells were raised, platforms constructed, and protective bunds added to prevent contamination. Wells were renovated and structural safety was ensured. An operation and maintenance committee was formed along with a women's SHG for water management and fundraising. A plantation with fish culture group was created for sustainability and environmental improvement. So they served as a guiding factor for the formulating water policy, led the discovery of the science and technology solution for an abundant resource, demonstrated the success of the participatory approach, showcased how small grants can effectively address significant issues and problems, optimized the issue of resources, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, ensured the supply of quality water in all seasons while meeting health safeguards. So this was from the Lupin. They did, as the picture says, they did the excavation done and built the hill kind of structure so that the water can be saved properly. And with all that, it could be made the drinkable water for the villagers round the year. Next slide, please. So my next case study is on the Bosch Limited, which made the water a safe drinking water. So Bosch is a company, Germany-based company. We all know about the Bosch. We all use Bosch equipments at our homes. Bosch is the world's largest automotive technology provider with a turnover exceeding 45 billion euros. In India, it is a public limited company headquartered in Bangalore with manufacturing facilities at Bangalore, Nasik, Naganpur, Jaipur, and Goa. Its products range from diesel and gasoline, fuel injection systems, starter motors and generators, special purpose machines, electrical power tools to security systems. The company employs around 10,000 and recorded a turnover of around 4,800 crores in 2008. So this was about the Bosch. Jaipur is among the most severely fluoride contaminated districts in Rajasthan, where groundwater serves as the primary source of drinking water. As we all know, Rajasthan, where water is the very low, and it comes in the region of dry state. So they started their project with Jaipur. The region's underground geology, rich in fluoride-bearing minerals such as fluorospar, sedimentary rocks, limestone, and sandstone, contributes to the elevated levels of fluoride in the water supply. The fluoride is that substance which makes our teeth yellow, and it all decay your gums and teeth. Basically, it's a substance that will destroy all your mouth structure, and sidewise it will destroy your stomach also. It will disturb your daily digestive system also. This natural contamination possesses a significant health risk due to the high fluoride content in the drinking water consumed by the local population. So as I already said. Next slide, please. So problem is in the Gonar groundwater fluoride levels range from 2.5 to 6 ppm, surpassing the WHO's recommended limit of 1 ppm for safe drinking water. During the rainy season, waterborne diseases are common, though they have not escalated into an epidemic. The elevated fluoride content has led to a rise in fluorosis cases in the area. Symptoms of fluorosis observed among residents include joint pain, discolored and pale teeth, premature graying of hair, often at young age. So this is a chart which you can see how many ponds were there. Just one pond, and the quality was very poor. Rainwater dries up in summer. Canals, zero river. One nala of contains industrial effluents. Overhead tanks, 2. Very poor quality. Open wells, 2. And those had good quality all time. Available water is all time. Bore wells, 10. And quality status does not know. Availability, 12 months a year. Public taps, 0. Individual connections, 800. And the quality is average. So, but the individual connections also had the high fluoride rates. Next slide, please. So the Bosch has started this reverse osmosis technique is used to treat groundwater. The methodology as follows: raw water supply from the bore well and open well, pressure sand filter cleaning, activated carbon filter, membrane cleaning, blending, UV lighting, and final supply. So we all use Kent RO at our homes, but Bosch did in a industrial on a industrial way. This is a picture how Bosch introduced their RO plant at Jaipur, facility at Gonar, Jaipur. Yeah, next. So the project partners were the tripartite partnership between the Bosch Limited, Financial, Nandi Foundation, and the community is Gonar Village Panchayat. So as you can see, the how this Bosch community given advantage to many villagers, and they have given the technology enhancement also to the villagers, that how they can have a clean drinking water for their livelihoods. And that is the basic need of each and every human. So the outcome, the local community is now safeguarded against the waterborne diseases such as dengue, malaria, and typhoid, as well as various forms of fluorosis, thanks to the availability of RO purified clean drinking water. Tata Chemicals Limited integrated watershed development. This is case study 3, which was done by the Tata. So this is the content. Industry, as we all know, Tata Chemicals Limited is a global company with a focus on chemicals, crop nutrition, and consumer products. TCL is the world's second largest producer of soda ash. The company was established in 1939 at Mithapur, Gujarat, and is the part of the Tata Group. TCL is the pioneer and market leader in the Indian branded iodized salt segment. It is also India's leading producer of nitrogenous and phosphatic fertilizers. In 1980, TCL established the Tata Chemical Society for Rural Development, which initially focused on relief and welfare programs. So the background of the projects is that Okhla Mandal Taluka in the Jamnagar district of Saurashtra Peninsula is one of the most drought-prone regions in India. Tata Chemicals, considering this taluka its home, has consistently supported the local community, particularly during challenging times. The company has implemented an integrated water management approach to address the region's water scarcity issues effectively. To help Okhla Mandal Taluka in the drought-prone Jamnagar district of the Saurashtra Peninsula survive and thrive, Tata Chemicals has undertaken a comprehensive water management project under the Natural Resource Management theme. As the part of the initiative, the company has led water management efforts within its plants and township, emphasizing the reuse, recycling, and substitution of fresh water with seawater to ensure sustainable water resources for the community. So, as we all know, Tata is always the first company which comes forward for the betterment of the society and always do amazing jobs for that. They are the torch bearer for our nation, what I feel. Objectives of the projects were enhancing the economic conditions of the local population by improving water availability, improving the quality and availability of underground water, preventing the intrusion and salinity into the water resources, expanding the area of irrigated land, ensuring better access to drinking water, building the capacity of local communities, promoting low water use crops and cropping techniques, increasing green cover and supporting the growth of indigenous plant species. So these were the objectives, why they were concerned about the water. So the problem was the project area is surrounded by the seawater on 3 sides, leading to the naturally saline underground water. The soil in the area is impervious, making the rainwater percolation difficult. The community has limited awareness about water management. The region is characterized by poor socioeconomic conditions, adding to the challenges in managing water resources. So these are the project partners, as you can see in the statistics. DRDA, Vasmo, Tata Chemicals, Sri Ratan Tata Trust, Community, and these are the institutions, as you can see in the table. Next slide, please. So the project strategy is project awareness and communication, community participation were promoted through village meetings, awareness campaigns, exposure visits, and training programs. Participatory rural appraisals were conducted to identify village needs and create action plans. Village level executives committees, including representatives from all communities and women members, were formed. Capacity building training for user groups and committee members focused on account keeping, decision making, and project planning through pilot activities. Water management infrastructure was developed, including check dams, water storage structures, village ponds, diversion channels, subterrestrial dams, farm ponds, and bunds. Groundwater recharge effort included recharge pits and wells, along with the roof rainwater harvesting for drinking water. So this was the outlook. Project strategy, drinking water systems were enhanced with new wells, bore wells, and hand pumps, and exclusive drinking water structures. Sustainability was ensured through appropriate water use practices, awareness drives, exposure visits, and the establishment of water codes in villages. Tata Chemicals took responsibility for mass awareness efforts, workshops, and training employees to manage the project post-completion. So this was the outcome. They have constructed, repair, and strengthening of medium of water harvesting structures, check dams, ponds, and channels. And physical achievement was 135 structures and in 30 villages. Water storage capacity created 175 million cubic feet for the one. That is a huge thing. Economic gain is around 10,000 plus rupees. I think 10,000, and the beneficiary average net gain in the region 200 lakhs per year. Construction of farm ponds and farm bunds, 796 farm ponds bunds in 17 villages. Recharge of groundwater through wells, 463 wells in 19 villages. Roof rainwater harvesting completed 624 households, resulted in saving of time for other work. Plantation, 9,000 saplings last year. Drip irrigation, 24 hectare completed this year. Drinking water infrastructure, 8 villages as a comprehensive approach that includes pipe water supply to each household, setting up hand pumps in 11 villages. 1 number in RO plant was provided to Bhim Barana village. Anybody is asking something or?
Viswajit ji, please mute yourself. Viswajit Nanda. Yeah. Yeah, you can go ahead, Miss Agarwal. Are you still there? I think there is an electricity problem.
Slide, please.
Yeah.
Am I audible? There
Yes,
is a
you are
park.
audible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Now you're audible, yes.
Okay, there is a power cut here.
Yeah. We understand, yeah.
So outcome is agricultural yields, animal husbandry improved, drinking water access was provided directly to the households, eliminating the need for women to spend up to 3 hours daily collecting water from over a kilometer away. The initiative was implemented in 8 villages, allowing women to use the extra time to educate their children. So somehow rooftop rainwater harvesting projects were introduced, provided coastal villagers with relief from using brackish water for drinking. A significant increase in the plantation efforts, with the 9,000 plants added in the financial year 2007 and 8, and biodiversity plantation expanded across 75 acres to till date. So regular cattle camps led to improved animal
उपेंद्र जी प्लीज म्यूट कर लीजिए। Okay, Miss Vidhi, I think you just muted yourself. Probably you're just saying thank you, so that's okay.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you so much for hearing me. And I thought these 3 case studies were must heard with all these people, that how best leading companies contributed to the climate change, towards the climate change, and led to a great drinking water for the villages, and for the saving of country. So this was it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Agarwal. It was quite insightful for us, yes, to know all the good work that these big companies are doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I think we'll move to our next and last speaker, and then in the end we would play that Mentimeter. What do you say, Shankojit? Is it okay?
Juhiji, I think we can skip that, some of the last few questions. There were 2 or 3 more. So we can move on towards our next presentation.
Okay. Okay, fine. So, yeah, and if you have any questions for Miss Vidhi Agarwal, you can send us emails and we can email her those questions. So our next speaker is Miss Kalika Mohaptra. She's a project manager from Water Initiative. She's based in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. She has over 22 years of experience in humanitarian and development organizations, including UN agencies and Handicap International. She has been a key player in disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation programs, including digital literacy for the elderly and disabled, disaster preparedness, integration in Gram Panchayat development plans. An avid supporter of inclusive wash at community and school levels. She has worked in Afghanistan, India, Sri Lanka on various facets of humanitarian response coordination, disaster management in backward disaster prone areas. So thank you very much, Ms. Kalika, and sorry for keeping you wait so long, but we still are we thought we will end up at 6 o'clock, so we still have some few minutes. So please, ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah,
Floor is
no
all
problem.
yours.
I have a very small thing because my presentation,
Yeah.
It is basically on fluoride in drinking water. My previous speaker also discussed about the defluoride of drinking water, but they used chemical and all membranes and everything. But I do not know how far they are got the success of this one. But my study, my research, my work is in a different way. Okay, fluoride is available basically in the water by a natural process, and it is basically available in the groundwater, not much in the surface water. Because before 20 years back, we in India we do not have deep bore well or tube well. That time we are using the open well, and just 1 minute. we are using the open well, dug well, pond water, river water, stream water, all these things where fluoride is not available. Even if it is available, it is very minimal part. But when we use the tube well part, which is extract the groundwater, where we got the fluoride one. And fluoride one. And if, as per the WHO, the permissible fluoride for India case is 1.5 mg per liter. Otherwise, if we are consuming more fluoride, then we have dental fluorosis, skeletal fluorosis, we have neuron toxic, all other muscles degeneration, gastrointestinal system. It has a bone impact, bone damage, muscular damage, fatigue, joint related, all these things. So these are the impact. And in Odisha, around the first fluoride case was detected in Khordha district, then Noyagarh, Nuapada, Kalahandi, all these areas. Even now, the industrial areas, Angul, Dhenkanal, all these areas are also having fluoride. So our major focus was to how to treat the water naturally and get a safe drinking water for the people. So that is my work and my research and all these things. So can you go to the next slide? These are the symptoms and signs of dental fluorosis. It starts from the teeth and it got damaged. After few years, you will not have any teeth. Even if nowadays, if you go to the Nuapada and other areas, you will find that small 7-8 years children, they do not have teeth also. So these are basically dental fluorosis. It is very furious part. And the next is, okay, go to the next slide, no problem. This is the skeletal fluorosis. It affects the joints and bones and everything. And nowadays it is called as a disable empowerment, and it is under the Persons with a Disability Act also it is included. Those who are having skeletal fluorosis, these people can call because their work ability is reduced, so they cannot work. And mostly in Nuapada, Komna, Boden block area, these people are affected, and these are. And nowadays, the fluoride is also passed to the animals like domestic animals, cow, goat, and other things. It has also gone to the rice field. So in that area, the rice is also having high level of fluoride content in their rice. If we are consuming that one, it also affect our human system. Next slide. I think that is, this is another picture. Next. These are parts of fluoride affected. So based on these things, we study the area and we found that after going through all these research study paper and all thing, we came to know that surface water is not having any fluoride content. Even if it is less than 0.5 mg or something. So in that case, we thought that we will trap the surface water and make it a use for the human consumption so that we can avoid the fluoride contamination part. Next. So in that context, we decided that we will convert the existing dog well and open well and make it a sanitary well. And chlorinated in few like quarter wise, and provide that one so that people will get the safe drinking water. So this is basically the tube well, and there is another recharge unit is going on to construction because this tube well is having very minimum fluoride level when we tested on pre-monsoon time. So then we thought that we will provide a recharge unit so that this tube well will get a high level of water, people can use that one. And the other side is the open well. We converted to a sanitary well and fitting with a tube well so that the water is safe water and people can use that one. Next. This is basically recharge unit and all these things, and we are providing sufficient water for the existing well or tube well or dug well, whatever thing. This is already tested in Kalahandi and Mohaptra district, and currently it is going on in Angul district. Angul is a basically industrial district, and where the fluoride is also available with the tap water provided by the government. Previously, the RWSS and the water source people, they do not believe in that contest, but when they saw our mechanism, tested the water, because we took the water in interval. One is pre-monsoon, then post-monsoon, and in between also we take. And we discuss with the community and show them the testing part. Even the people also in that area, they know how to test the water quality, whether how much is fluoride level is available. They have a kit also, and currently they are also maintaining and managing their own water sources. Nowadays they are demanding government that government should also provide them similar type of, even some cases government is also provided the tubal with the chemical defluorination part. And the problem is that if you use RO or membrane, nano, cleanliness, all these things, if they provide 1 liter safe drinking water, and they will discharge 2 liter of highly concentrated fluoride water, which is basically not manageable in our part. Again, it will go and contaminate the surface water. Then this cycle will continue. So we cannot stop that one. Only the fluoride treatment is the natural process. We can manage, dilute the surface water by having rainwater recharge unit or rooftop. You can do it. And we also use the grey water, so peat also, that can be also used to this one. And so that the existing surface water source will have a recharge unit, and it has a good and safe drinking water. I think this is the small and thing. This is the unit, recharge unit. So people know this one. So this is a simple one and natural process. We can defluoride our highly contaminated fluoride water. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Mohapatra. Any questions for her? Any questions for her? Yeah, probably people have become tired. No, this has been quite long also. So next time we are also thinking that we will have, maximum 4 speakers. Otherwise it becomes too long for everybody to give that much amount of time. So yeah, but these topics are itself so interesting that we at the end, so when we start working on an outline, and then when in the end what happens is we just can't strike out the names. We just think that okay, we should cover this also, everything. But I think we should definitely go ahead next time. We should do that. We should be even very sub sector specific. So, and that is what we will do next time, because I feel that there is a lot of discussions that could still go on. And parallelly, maybe we can just carry them forward. If there are any requests, please let us know. You can also send us emails, and we can just continue these discussions, maybe in smaller groups as well. So thank you very much, Ms. Mohapatra. Yes, Anshuman, you have something to say. Shankajit, if we want to do a last Mentimeter with all the sleepy people here, or we just want to say goodbye, everybody.
Now that would be a torture. I mean, now getting on with the Mentimeter, that would be a torture meter. So no, let's not fit into that.
Okay,
But this was a great session. Great session.
Great
Hello,
session.
so
Yeah,
Juhi
yeah,
ji,
yeah, definitely. Yes, yes, please, Anil. Yes, tell.
एक्चुअली मैंने यहाँ पे एक गूगल फॉर्म शेयर किया है चैट
Mm-hmm.
में. सो एक बार सब लोग क्लिक करके उसमें अपना फीडबैक जरूर दे दें. केवल 3 क्वेश्चन है और उसको
Mm-hmm.
बस 1 to 5 की रेटिंग्स देनी है और एक
Mm.
छोटा सा आंसर लिखना है. सो सब लोग दे सकते हैं.
Okay.
किसी को नाम लिखने की
Yeah.
उसमें जरूरत नहीं है.
Okay, okay, no problem. So you're sending it now on the chat, or how will you send?
I send it in chat.
Okay, okay. So I am also sending on chat our link, YouTube link. We were all live today on YouTube. Here is the link. You can also see it there. I think now it will also come as a recorded session there, right, Anil?
Yes.
Yeah, great, great. Okay, so please, everybody, there is a form, a feedback form. Maybe you can put in all your questions, queries, and and anything that you think that, any suggestions that you would like to give us. And definitely, time is definitely one of the things that we will, take care, consider for the next time. Thank you very much to all the speakers, and thank you very much to all the participants who very, patiently listen to all the sessions. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, team. Thank you, Shankarjeet. Thank you, team.
Thank you,
Anil,
Juhi ji, and
Saurabh,
thanks to you
Anshuman,
particularly.
Chandra sir.
Thanks to you too, particularly for carrying on with this entire session so well. So thank you too.
Welcome, welcome. Yeah, thank you to all our team members, Anil, Chandra sir, Saurabh, Anshuman, all
Yes, of
people who
course.
were on the background of supporting us. Shankarjeet, of course, you as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. All of you have a great evening now. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 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 No, thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Juhi, for conducting a lovely show. Huh?